What's going on, guys? What's going on? How's it going? Everyone out here, how's it going? How's it going, guys? How's it going? What's good? What's good? What's good? Okay, hello, Hendrix. How are you? Hendrix Love. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, so I wanted to talk Porter, Crawford. I wanted to talk Canelo Plant. Bit of Manny Pacquiao. Let's talk boxing. Let's talk boxing. Let's talk boxing. Yeah, so it looks like Caleb Plant is confident. He said a few things about the Canelo fight. Said that it'll be easy. He'll make the Canelo fight look a lot easier than what we think. Crawford Porter, first time that that there's going to be I think it's the first time. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. That there's going to be a purse bid. That's going to be live for the fans, and we're going to be able to see it. Bidding war. Hopefully, it's great. Hopefully, it's good stuff. So yeah. Get your questions in, guys. Everyone in the stream, get your questions in. Get your questions in and smash the like button, guys. Everyone in the stream, get those questions in. I'm waiting for the questions. Let's get those questions in. Smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button. Everyone in the stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. Hendrix Love says, easy. Wow. I like the confidence, but that's a tall order. It definitely is a tall order. I can't see him. I can't see him beating Canelo, let alone it making it look easy. It's going to be very difficult. Canelo's very, very difficult to beat, or even to compete against at the minute. You know, he's an absolute beast right now. So I think Caleb Plant's going to have a very difficult fight. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as easy as what he thinks. Canelo's a different beast right now. He's a different animal, and I think Caleb's going to find out the hard way. It's definitely a tough match, tough fight for him. Get your questions in. Smash the like button, guys, and get your questions in. Smash the like button and get your questions in, guys. Let's get those questions in and smash the like button. Everyone in the stream. Smash the like button, guys. I'd appreciate it if you can smash the like button and get the questions in. I'm waiting for your questions, guys. I'm waiting for your questions. Get those questions in, peeps. Yeah, so Crawford Porter. Hopefully that gets made. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that fight being made. That's a fight that I'm actually looking forward to because I think all those questions about Crawford will be answered. Should Pacquiao just retire? I believe so. I believe it's the end of his career. There's no point now. There's no point of him continuing. I don't think he's got anything to prove. Had a great career, special fighter, done everything he needed to do. Hendrix. So Ismail Rosales says Caleb Plant is crazy for saying Canelo is going to be easy. What a joke. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Ismail. I think the reason why he's saying that, he's trying to be confident. He's trying to go into that fight believing that, you know what, he's a special fighter. Sometimes, fighters have to give themselves confidence. They have to say delusional things to make themselves feel confident. I think Caleb's doing that. Fair play to him. Whatever makes him feel confident going into the fight, he's, fair enough. Jose says, don't see Plant beating Canelo, especially with those fragile hands. He broke his hand against Caleb Truax. Imagine hitting Canelo's granite chin. Yeah. Canelo's got a lot of granite. He's got granite hands, granite body. He's not just his chin. Must have a granite skull as well. Caleb is an average fighter, honestly. Well, we'll find out, right? We'll find out. A lot of you seem to think he's average. We'll find out if he's average. I'm not. Again, I think some of you guys are not giving I think some of you guys think Caleb is a lot worse than what he actually is. I think Caleb's a lot better. Guys, everyone in the stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. Smash the like button, guys. Everyone in the stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. Smash the like button. Get those likes up. Get those likes up, guys. Smash the like button. But yeah, okay, wait. So Victor says, wait till he sees Canelo's face to face. Let's see. Yeah, let's see his confidence. I think Plant is bigger than Canelo in terms of height. So he's going to be towering over Canelo. But in terms of that, don't mean anything though. We all know that don't mean anything.
Hey man, how you doing?
What's going on, Christian? You right? You good?
Yeah, listen, I'm good. How are you doing, man?
Just good, man. Good, good, good. Fair play. You came on. I know you wanted to give your take on this fight.
Yeah. Did you read my breakdown on Facebook
Yeah. I
my
read it,
analysis
man.
of the fight?
I read it. Yeah. A lot of people,
Listen,
are
go ahead.
overlooking Plant. They think Plant's rubbish.
They are. Listen, they don't understand. Okay, listen. Plant is 6'1". He's elusive. He has a 5-inch reach advantage. Caleb knows how to use range, and he has a very good jab. He shoots it from odd angles. He shoots it from different levels, and he's going to jab Canelo to the body from afar because you can't slip a jab to the body, whereas you can slip a jab to the face. The other issue is that the problem that Canelo's going to have is that he has got to move his feet to cut distance when he slips the jab. And he's not going to be able to do that because his feet is still slow. It's always been slow. So, and Caleb knows this. So what he's going to do, he's going to pot shot him at a distance. He's going to force Canelo to move his feet constantly. And by doing that, Canelo is not going to be able to set his feet and work on the inside. The only way, Canelo's effective when he's on the inside with his feet planted, the way he fought Callum Smith. Callum Smith fought that fight all wrong. He fought with a high guard up against the ropes. He let Canelo inside the booth. Why would you do that when you have like a 6-7 inch reach advantage is beyond me, which made no sense. But Callum Smith doesn't have a jab, and he doesn't have the elusiveness to exploit that weakness in Canelo's game. But Plant does. And Plant doesn't have to be perfect like Floyd was. You see, Floyd was perfect because he was able to make Canelo miss while in the pocket. But Plant doesn't have to fight in the pocket because he has the reach. And because he has the reach, and Canelo's slow on his feet, he has enough time to react when Canelo tries to lunge.
Can't hear you. The volume's gone. Audio's gone from your side. The audio's gone. Yeah, I can't hear you. So Christian was giving his take. I don't know what's happened. I think he's having some technical difficulties. But yeah, basically saying that he feels that Caleb Plant has advantages that he can exploit in this fight. Hopefully Christian comes back on. But yeah, he basically saying he feels that Caleb Plant or Christian's back. Hello? Yeah, I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. No, I can't. Christian, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. The audio's gone. So, okay, the Hawaiian Punch says Makai's on. Makai, how's it going, Makai? Makai, you there?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, yep. Yeah, Christian's having some difficulties on his side, technical faults. I think it's the Wi-Fi in the area that he's at. But yeah, he was just basically saying that Caleb Plant has some physical advantages that can cause Canelo issues and trouble with his fast feet, keeping it at a distance. He can cause Canelo all kinds of trouble. What do you think, Makai?
Yeah, but Plant's not good at keeping it at distance. I mean, so when you look at when these opponents actually throw punches at him, when they double up, they hit him. It's like they just don't have the belief to keep on going. Like Truax, obviously, like a washed up Truax. When he actually threw a punch and he threw combos, he was landing a lot on Plant. He just didn't have the belief to keep on going. Obviously, Fagenberg's for that guy was just a human punching bag. Us, Joe's, Uzkute, I can't say his name properly. In the in the middle rounds near the end, to the 6th to the 12th, he was landing on Plant badly and hurt a couple times. He was struggling very badly. Like Plant, he needs to stop drinking and he needs to start training. For saying that's ridiculous for him saying Canelo will be an easy fight. That's not true at all. Yeah, no, yeah. Plant, he is bigger than him, and Plant's jab, it will give Canelo problems, but Plant will be able to keep it up all the time. Canelo will adapt, and he'll win.
There was a footage of Caleb Plant that's been circulated on the internet. That there was in the 12th round of a fight where he was looking really tired and out there. Really, he was looking really tired, and his punches were really slow. He can't afford to be like that against Canelo. He needs to make sure that his stamina is on point. Basically he can't afford to get worn out in that fight, because if he does, and he does get tired, it's going to be difficult for him to keep Canelo off, right? Even if he needs to have great stamina.
I'm trying to wait.
Christian's got a bit of bad technical issues on his side. When
I like your comment, Diego. Diego said he likes him better with no audio.
So, Plant gives Canelo trouble. Afterwards, Canelo KO Plant. Okay, you right, Christian? No, I can't hear you still. There must be an issue around. Yeah, I can't hear Christian for some reason. I don't know what's up, but yeah. Mike Ream says Canelo's head movement is his feet movements. Everybody talks about what people going to do to Spence and Canelo. Forget what they do. Canelo's head movement is his feet movement. Yeah, he that's true. That's a good point. Canelo's got great head movement, hasn't he?
He's got great head movement.
Hit him, isn't it?
Yeah, but with slick fighters, they mostly look really slick because they're using their feet to slip punches. Canelo, he usually stands there and he's like using his hips and all like that. That's very good. That's very good head movement. Because like guys like Saunders, they call him slick, Andrade, but they're mostly using their feet. They're stepping out and then slipping. They're not really slipping it because they're kind of away from the punch already. But Canelo, he's just standing there really, ducking, slipping. The longer guys, it's incredible head movement.
Miguel's on. So Mike Tyson said best plans change when you get punched in the face. Plant will not keep up the fantasy of outboxing Canelo. I'd have to agree. I don't think he can outbox him for 12 rounds. I think that's the issue. He may be able to win a couple of rounds. I think he'll win rounds. Don't get me wrong, Makai. He will win rounds. I reckon where Caleb might win the first 3 rounds, you know what I mean? But then I think Canelo will get to him. That's the only issue. I don't know whether Caleb will be able to keep it up. Miguel, how are you? Miguel?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. So I haven't spoke to you since the Caleb Plant and Canelo fight has been made. What's your thoughts on the fight being made? Secondly, Caleb Plant saying that he'll make Canelo look average and he'll make it look...
I heard what he said, and I thought that is foolish, honestly, because I've seen videos of Caleb Plant, and I've seen the videos I've seen fights even Canelo, and it doesn't look too impressive to me, to be honest with you, on the so-called fast hands. Canelo has his speed, and Canelo has his body movements too, as you can see in this on the fight with Jacobs. So the thing is about Caleb Plant, he's talking too much crap. He should keep his mouth shut, honestly. But I know that's part of the game. Have you ever heard Canelo talking bad about anybody?
No, never.
No, correct, right? Never. He respects every single one of them. Am I right? He respects them, But when it comes to the ring, when they face Canelo in the ring, it's a different ball game. That's when their so-called the fight plan changes against Canelo. And Canelo is just too much for the guy. I don't care. I don't care how tall he is or how big he is. He still can get hurt. He still can get hurt because Canelo, when he throws his punches, He's not throwing punches like, with a little bit of powder here and there. He throws them with intentions. Compared to Caleb Plant, he's just too soft when he throws punches. He's too soft for it, honestly. Okay, he doesn't throw with his intentions or any strength at all behind his punches. Okay,
Christian.
So
listen.
Go ahead.
Go on, Christian.
Listen,
you been cut off? You were cut off. Yeah, carry on with what you were saying.
Listen, what I was saying is this. To really summarize it, Canelo is up against a guy who has length, a great jab, great hand speed, elusiveness. He can fight off the back foot with combinations. He's not like Billy Joe. He has a diverse punch selection off of his movement. Billy Joe is ABC 1, 2, 3. He uses movement just to jab and throw an occasional cross left, but he doesn't make you miss with combinations. Now, Plant spars with cruiserweights. And those cruiserweights, when they're not scheduled to fight, are above 200 pounds. So he can take Canelo's shot. That I'm sure of it because of who he's sparring. Okay? Now, power is not going to win this fight, gentlemen. It's not. It's going to be skills. And in order for Canelo to win this fight, he has to work on the inside with his feet planted. Caleb Plant is not going to let him do that. Canelo is 5'8". He's got a 5-inch reach disadvantage, and he is slow of foot. We just saw recently Ugas defeat Manny Pacquiao using his jab to control range, and Pacquiao is fast of foot. Now we got Canelo, who is much shorter than Caleb, but his feet is in cement. He is not going to cut the distance to get in the pocket.
Right.
Not enough to break him down.
Yeah, right. Can I say something here?
I'm sorry, but I completely disagree with you on that point. Canelo, let me put it this way. He's not a punching bag. Canelo can study you, he can time you, and he can hurt you. Okay? Canelo has fast hands, and he knows how to box. Plant might have the reach, but I guarantee you that Canelo is going to get inside of him, and Canelo doesn't have no cement feet. He can move. Okay? So do not compare, with Billy Joe and Plant. They're two different fighters. I know that. Okay? But Canelo is going to reduce the speed on him. And Canelo knows how to. All right? And Canelo has fought in sparring with heavyweights. Plant is not. Okay? Canelo has sparring with heavyweights. Bigger than him and taller than him. So Canelo knows what he's getting into. I don't know about Plant, okay, but just everybody tries to compare with Mayweather when he fought Mayweather. Well, hello, Canelo was only 22 years old or 23, with hardly any experience. Yeah, he got his ass whipped, but he kept going. He never gave up. He learned, right, and he got better and better and better. And the thing is about Canelo, he's going to find a way to beat him, and he's going to find a way to knock him out.
Yeah,
if it lasts 8 rounds. Let's be honest.
What?
Not because he's taller, he's bigger. Who cares? I mean, I've seen taller fighters. Okay, and it doesn't matter what the reach advantage. If you know how to box, if you know how to skip boxes, you know how to cover the ring, I guarantee you, Caleb Plant is going to have a long, long night. That's all I have to say. Prove me wrong.
Christian, we can't hear. Christian, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Christian. You're on mute.
Well, Christian, okay. Well, if you can hear me,
yeah.
What I'm saying here, you're acting like Plant. He's just going to be able to beat Canelo with just his jab and his footwork. You need to understand that every Plant fight I've seen, he moves the same way. He moves to his right all the time. He never mixes up or anything. He's never beaten anyone with just his jab. He's known for his fast combos, Okay, yeah, he's speedy combos, as people like to say. Right. Plant is only fast when you're standing there with your arms up like Feigenbutz was doing. That's only when you see his fast hands. Plant is not really that fast. It's going to be a lot different when he's throwing it at Canelo, because Canelo, he's going to counter back and he's going to throw body shots like he was doing to Saunders. Hence why Saunders didn't look the same as he always does in his other fights. Plant, he's fought guys that he's supposed to be, and he's looked comfortable doing it because no one's been able to actually hurt him. He's going to be in with someone who's powerful, who's skilled, who's a lot more experienced than him. Plant's going to be in big danger. He's not just going to be able to beat Canelo with his jab and his feet. Canelo's very good at cutting the ring off, hence what we've seen in every fight, especially with the Saunders fight. When Plant will try and throw back, Canelo's going to counter him to the body. How's Plant going to react when he gets hit to the body? He's not going to react well. We even saw in the Jose fight, he was in big trouble from the 6th to 12th. I mean, Canelo's not just a walking punching bag like the guys Plant's been fighting. And when Plant hasn't fought those kind of guys, which is Uzkuzeji, we saw him have trouble. And let's be honest, that Jose, I can't say his name properly, sorry, but he's really not that good. Hence what we saw after the Plant fight. We saw him fight some guy in a 10-rounder and he lost. So what you're saying about Canelo, how you're explaining him, I mean, I remember when you called him basic, you're acting like Canelo's got no skills. Canelo's more skilled than Plant, and Canelo's also got quick hands as well.
Christian, are you back? Oh, I still can't hear. I don't know what's up with his audio. Something's not right with his audio. Oh, he's having issues. But yeah, carry on, guys. Carry on. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's all. I'm sorry.
In terms of Canelo, breaking Plant down, I think everyone's in agreement that Plant might have early success, but the chances of Plant sustaining it is going to be difficult. Christian, you back?
Okay, yeah, I hear good now. Okay, I hear good now.
Yeah.
Listen, I think Plant can sustain that pace. He can. Now remember, I mean, I know that there was some of the arguments was about his performance against Truax. In that fight against Truax, he broke his hand he injured his hand in the early rounds of that fight, which affected his performance. And also, you have to consider that Truax is 6'1". He's not short like Canelo. So the length advantage, the length variable is not the same. You have to consider that variables change fight to fight. And this time, Caleb is going to have a 5-inch reach advantage, and he knows how to use range, especially against someone who's smaller.
Right. Okay. Can I speak?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Okay. Look on Tyson. How many fighters were taller than Tyson?
Quite a few. And Lennox Lewis was one. I mean, how did Lewis beat him? And Lewis beat him by using the jab and range.
When Tyson was in his prime, there were a lot of the taller fighters than he was. With longer range.
But Miguel, Christian's right there in the sense that obviously you may be taller, but that doesn't mean you know how to use your advantages. Like some fighters are really good that know how to use their advantages. We don't know about Plant yet. We don't know because at the end of the day, a good big man will beat a good little man. But obviously a great little man will beat a good big man. And
I mean,
Canelo,
how do we know that Plant is even that good? We don't know.
But Plant,
this is what I'm saying. We don't know.
Yeah.
But Plant uses the same style. He uses. Tell me, he's even said himself, "I'm not going to change my style. He's going to I will have my own style. The same style that he's been fighting."
And Canelo's been fighting the same way since he started his career.
Well, it doesn't matter. But
no,
when
he
you
hasn't.
fight a lion, but when you fight a lion like Canelo, you're going to change your plans when you're in the ring.
His offense ain't today as it was.
But okay, now tell me, who has Plant has fought with the caliber of Canelo?
Listen,
None, right?
I don't believe in resume because
Exactly.
I mean, does Canelo
you
has
you
names
have
on
to
his
believe in
resume of
my man.
boxers? No.
You have to
No.
believe in
Resume doesn't win fights.
Yes, you do.
Resume doesn't win fights.
Oh, yes, he
No,
does.
resume doesn't win fights.
Well, look at Canelo.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The
No,
ABC
well,
triangle
then
of boxing
Canelo
is a
hasn't won any
fallacy.
fights, right?
Listen, I can dissect Canelo's resume and break it down why it's a farce. It's a total farce. Liam Smith, no skills. Callum Smith, no skills.
No,
He's
go
there
ahead.
to be,
Go ahead. This
you know,
sector. But
Miguel
guarantee
Cotto,
you're not going to
past his
win
prime.
that
Kovalev,
You acting like
past his
Plant's this
prime.
defensive genius,
How?
like he's super
How?
skilled.
How?
Plant, yeah, is not super skilled.
Guys, let Christian make his points, and then you guys chip in after.
Go ahead, Christian. Go ahead.
Christian,
Go ahead,
make your
Plant
points, and then let
Canelo
them.
because of his
Go
style.
ahead. Go ahead.
Christian, you were talking
Plant
about his
Canelo
resume.
because
You're talking about his resume.
Footwork and yeah, resume doesn't win fights, but that's not why Plant is gonna beat him. Plant's gonna because he has the style, he has the footwork to keep Canelo balanced. Effective when his feet is planted in the pocket. That's it.
No.
I know what the tape. I know what the tape shows.
No.
I'm not blind.
No, my man. No, my man. You don't see the whole picture. You only see one side. Okay. That going to work him out. It's going to wear him out, and I guarantee you, it's going to stop it.
We can't hear you, Miguel. We can't hear Miguel.
Okay,
I don't know where it's gone. I think Miguel.
I just want. I would like for Miguel to explain with a schematical analysis. How is Canelo going to cut distance and stay in the pocket to do his work? Because he's not going to beat him from afar.
Well, can I say something?
No one has yet
as Miguel's
to
gone.
answer that question.
Go on, Makai. Go
Right.
on, respond.
Christian, you're at right. Plant, yeah, he's a good fighter. He's got a great jab, but we've never seen Plant be successful just by using his jab and with his feet. We've never seen that. You need to understand, Plant, he always moves the same way, same way on the right. He never mixes up and moves to the left. Canelo's very good at cutting off, yeah, and Plant, he's not used to moving around all the time each sides. I mean, I've seen Plant fight all the time. I've seen him fight. I've seen 6 of his fights, and he's always going to move into his right, I believe. That's all he's doing. That's why he always gets trapped sometimes. That's why Uskete. Oh my god, I really can't say his name. Yeah, thanks, Imran. Yeah, that's why he was always cornering him sometimes near the end, 6 and the 12th, and landing on him. And Canelo, he can still get to the body. Plant hasn't got quick feet like that. He's not like a Lara, and Canelo still had success going to the body. And Lara is a way better fighter than Plant. Let's be honest.
I disagree.
Well. And
no. Plant is better than Lara.
Okay then.
Plant is better than Lara off the bat.
Okay.
Plant's better than Lara.
Okay, right, and all I'm going to say here as well is that Plant
is better than Caleb.
Is Plant is known for his fast combos. That's how he's always been successful, really. We saw it in the Feigenbutz fight, the Truex, it's a bit like this. Plant, he will throw 1-2, it won't be that fast, and then when his opponents put their hands up just to block it, then he starts unleashing it, and then his punches look really fast. But Canelo's not going to do that. Canelo's going to counter. He's going to hit to the body like he done with all these other opponents. And it's just going to change. Smith even said he's very hard to hit clean, and his presence
Makai. Yeah. Did Christian? I want to cut in there. Sorry about that, Makai. Did you say you think Plant is better than Lara?
Yes,
Why
especially off the back foot. Lara is more defensive. But when Caleb fights off the back foot, he actually throws combos. He generates more of an offense. Lara is too defensive off the back foot.
So do you think Lara beat Canelo?
Yes, I do.
So what my point is that if you think Lara beat Canelo, that to me proves right as of right now for me Lara he's way more accomplished than Plant at this point for us to start saying that Plant is better.
Resume doesn't prove which fighter is better than the other. It doesn't.
No, but it's true, but it's the eye test.
It doesn't.
What I'm saying is,
the eye test.
Lara's smaller than Plant. Lara's not as big as Plant. Plant's a big dude. So if Plant beats Canelo, Plant's a big guy. He's got advantages. Lara didn't have those advantages over Canelo.
That's
what
true.
I'm trying to say.
That's
Lara's
true.
a quality fighter.
But yeah, no. Lara is a quality fighter. But what I'm saying is the difference between Plant and Lara is that Plant generates an offense off the back foot. Lara does not. He's more defensive off the back foot.
But what I was trying to point out is, don't you think it's a bit premature to say that Plant is better? Because yes, stylistically, what you're talking about is stylistically them matching up against each other. I'm talking about accomplishments, and Lara's now.
Lara has more accomplishments on paper, but I'm talking about the schematics, skills.
Yeah. You're talking about stylistically. But
the skills. Because to me, go ahead.
So thing is with Plant, so far everyone seems to have the same kind of feeling that Plant doesn't have the stamina to go the full distance, to go 12 rounds. He tires. If he tires in this fight, right, he'd be like food to Canelo, wouldn't he? Towards the end of that fight, there was I don't know if you've seen a footage of him going round really fatigued and knackered, where he's throwing punches and he's looking very bad, amateurish almost in the ring. Well, I don't know. I just don't
Truax,
see how
listen, against Truax, yes, he looked tired, but remember, he fought with an injured hand throughout most of that fight. So, that impacted his performance. Against Ustari, I can't pronounce his name. He looked great in that fight. Yeah, he looked great in that fight.
To be honest, the best that I've seen Caleb Plant look was on the Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman undercard against Mike Lee, where he took Mike Lee out. I thought he was sensational that night, and I actually thought he would be a force after watching him. But then since then, Christian, after the Utakatsi fight and then the Mike Lee, which was his first defense, I'm pretty sure it was his first defense, he hasn't looked very impressive. Now, I don't know whether that's down to... I was a big fan of Caleb Plant when I first saw him. I first saw him fight against Utakatsi, then I saw him against Mike Lee, and he looked really impressive. But after that, Christian, he hasn't looked very impressive, to be fair. I don't know.
Well, I think the fight after Lee was Truax, and I agree he didn't look impressive in that fight. But again, he fought with an injured hand, and the injury occurred in the early rounds of that fight.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, in terms of what do you? So you're saying that he's going to be able to keep on the outside against Canelo, and Canelo's not going to be able to get near him.
Yes. Yeah. I mean. Now, if he gasses out in the later rounds, okay, then it's going to come down to, can he take Canelo's shots? And I think he can, because he spars with cruiserweights. We're talking about guys well over 200 pounds. When he's sparring. If he can take their shots, which he can, then he can take Canelo's shots.
But he did get hurt by Uzcategui. Oh my God. Uzcategui. Yeah.
Did he get knocked out? What was he knocked out?
He didn't get knocked
out.
Every
fighter gets hit.
Who hit
exactly.
him? Yeah. But he got hurt a couple times. Who hits harder? Yeah, who hits harder? Canelo or him? I'm not saying his name. I can't say it. Yeah, I know. I can listen to you say it 100 times. I still won't be able to say it. Who hits harder, Christian?
No one can say. Neither you and I can say, unless you both stand there and take a shot from both guys.
Well, I don't want to do that.
Canelo didn't knock out Callum Smith. Canelo didn't knock out Callum Smith.
Well, what makes you think Plant's tougher than Callum Smith? We don't know that, do we? And you can't talk about
Plant is tougher. He fought a fight with an injured hand against Truax. That takes
How do
grit.
you know Plant has? How do you know Cannon Smith hasn't been injured in any fights? I think he was injured in the John Ryder fight. Actually. Yeah, but that's different. Yeah, but you need to look at it.
Against a smaller guy, he had his high guard up against the ropes, and he let a little guy pummel him. He didn't use his reach.
Yeah, right, Christian. We've never seen Smith do that in any other fights like that. In when he went in the ring with Canelo, you need to understand.
Well, listen.
The countering and everything, the presence.
Smith broke his. Didn't Canelo break his hand in that fight?
Yeah, he did against Lee.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
So,
there you go. Yeah.
So and when Plant was injured, like, and then we can't make excuses for him if he didn't show up in that fight.
Okay. Listen. The bottom line is this: we have to look at each fight on a fight per fight basis, how the variables change, and I have yet to hear an answer how Canelo is going to cut distance to counter the long pot shots that Canelo's going to be shooting from afar.
I've already told you that.
His head movement. His head movement, and he's just
it doesn't answer it.
Christian, I've already told you that.
No. Okay,
I've already told you that.
Understand. When movement, watch the tape. His feet are flat. He's not moving his feet when he's using it. He's bobbing and weaving. Watch the tape. Watch how he bobbed and weaved against Daniel Jacobs.
When he jabs,
what on earth makes you think he can't hit Plant to the body? We've seen Plant get hit so much when his fights actually throw punches. Like you're acting like Plant's got this supreme footwork and an amazing jab. He's got a good jab. His footwork, I mean, it's not that amazing, you know. And Plant, as I've said it multiple times, he's known for his fast combos. They're only fast when his opponent is just standing there with their arms up. He's not really that fast, Plant. He's only fast when obviously these opponents are doing that. Canelo's going to counter him to the body all the time.
Fast. I would say his hand speed is good. I like his hand speed. He is fast.
Yeah, Imran, but it only looks really fast when he's throwing his combos.
Remember what Amir Khan did to Canelo? He was outboxing him from afar with his fast hands. Caleb's gonna do the same thing, but the difference is Caleb is stature, like Khan.
There's a difference there. Khan is a lot more faster than Plant, and Caleb doesn't fight like Khan at all. Khan has like usually lunges in, throws fast combos, and then steps out. Yeah. I mean, Plant, and when Plant does do that, his opponent's gonna have to. His opponents are just there to be hit they're like human punch bags, a bit like that Fagan. But as Saunders done, when Saunders went in to throw his combos, Canelo was always countering to the body, and it made Saunders very wary of things. I know you're going to say Plant's better than Saunders, but that's when they doing the same thing sometimes.
Plant is a big dude. He's a big dude, but I don't know about his foot. Christian, you keep talking about his footwork and foot movement.
Yeah.
I've watched him. He's not that nimble-footed.
Yes, he's not like Lara. I disagree. He is nimble of foot.
He thinks Lara. No, but he thinks Plant is better than Lara.
Yeah, he is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'll tell you why. Because listen.
I don't see how you think that Caleb's got better feet than Lara. He hasn't, Christian. Surely he hasn't.
Lara, listen, but this is the difference. Lara uses the Cuban style of boxing is that they use a lot of movement. They'll pot shot a jab, throw an occasional cross left or a cross right behind it. Caleb uses movement to pot shot combinations when he makes the opponent miss. It's the American style of slickness. That's what makes it different from the Cuban style.
Caleb don't do that a lot. He doesn't do that a lot. He's done it sometimes, but
I've seen it.
Go on, EK.
Can you guys hear me?
EK?
Okay. The only success I can see Plant. Can you guys hear me? The thing I can see Plant doing is like throwing 1-2 punches and circling around. That's all he's got, because the Canelo is gonna cut the ring. He's gonna punch his arms. He's gonna punch like elbows, shoulders. Like he's gonna do a lot of things. Like Canelo's not for a clean shot. He's gonna do everything.
And Canelo's going to grow frustrated. No, I see Canelo getting frustrated, lunging in, and when he does that, he's going to get pot shotted, with a hook.
Nope. Plant is not going to have the confidence like he does in his other fights, or when he's in the ring with Canelo. We saw Callum Smith, how confident he used to be in his power, and then look what happened. You're acting like Canelo's just this like basic fighter. No skills. No skills at all.
No skills.
What makes you think Plant's so skillful then?
I've seen that guy. I've seen, because he's elusive. He's slick. He moves. He can make you miss. He'll counter you off the miss. Callum Smith is stiff. He's a statue. He's there to be hit. I mean, a lot of the UK fighters are like that. Most of them are, with the exception of Billy Joe. But Billy Joe's slickness is not on the same level as Plant's.
But I have to admit, most of the American fighters, their fundamentals are awful. Like how they're throwing a jab and everything. Like the European style, seems you love being really biased to your own country. The European style is more of a proper way of boxing than the American style, and that's true.
Yeah, Americans. It's been the Americans who've been dominating the sport for decades, for the most part.
What makes you think that? Because I know a lot of American fighters that have just got away with corrupt stuff like robberies. I've seen a lot of European fighters get robbed when they go to America. Like, a lot of these European guys, they've gotten robbed like badly, and that's true. I don't like talking.
Country though, aren't you? You should be better than the UK. Fair, you have got a point. The best fighters do come from America. Majority of the time, all the all-time greats are generally from America, but they're supposed to be though, because they're a bigger country. We're a small country here. You're massive compared to us.
It's true.
Imran, I'm also talking just about in Europe, like not just in the UK, like where like Kazakhstan, Russia, and all that. Like they're not stiffs at all. Kovalev, is Kovalev a stiff, Christian?
Yeah, I get what he's saying.
He's not a loose.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they are.
It's just I think you're being a bit disrespectful, Christian, to European fighters. Because I can say a lot about American.
What I mean by stiff is immobile. They don't move. They're not elusive. They can be hit easily. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah, possibly, but we had Nazeem Hamed, who was quite slick, but he was fundamentally not sound.
There are exceptions. From time to time.
But he wasn't fundamentally sound though, Christian. That's why when he fought Barrera, he got outclassed. But so being slick is not necessarily the be all or end all, because that generally sometimes a lot of these guys are not fundamentally sound. Now, Nazeem Hamed
most of the slick fighters.
Christian, do you think Nazeem Hamed was fundamentally sound?
Listen, I really can't say because I haven't seen a lot of. I would have to watch his fights. I didn't really see him fight all that much, to be honest with you. So I really couldn't say.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
you said Andrade. What about Andrade? He's a slick fighter.
He's not fundamentally sound, though, that's for sure.
No, Andrade is extremely slick but awkward, and that's what makes him very complicated. There's a video on YouTube that talks about why fighters are avoiding him because of his ability to take away the jab, and it's one of the best analysis that I have seen because of how Andrade holds his guard off the center line of fighters, which is an old school way of boxing. And it's true because when you shoot the jab and you have your other opposite guard off the line, you're exposed if you miss. And that's one of the things that makes Andrade very effective in taking away an opponent's jab.
Okay, yeah. Can I say something? This has nothing to do with Canelo because they fight a lot different. But Liam Williams, I do believe, actually took away Andrade's jab. I didn't remember Andrade just controlling him with a jab. I saw Andrade get put in the deep waters.
And Andrade dominated that fight. He fought him off the back foot because
he didn't dominate that fight. What are you talking about?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he won 10 of 12 rounds. 10 of 12 rounds.
He didn't win that many rounds.
He knocked him down twice.
Let's just say if that was true, which is not. He knocks him down once.
Twice.
He knocks him down once.
Once. But he won 10 of 12 rounds. He outboxed.
No, he didn't. He didn't win that many rounds. And even if he did, they wasn't easy rounds because you're saying he dominated him. That's not dominating at all.
10 or 12 rounds is pretty convincing to me. Last time I checked, 10 is 8 more rounds than 2.
He didn't win that many rounds. But I'm just saying, let's just say if he did, which he didn't, those rounds weren't easy. The judges, but the judges also.
The judges scored it that way.
Okay, yeah, the judges also scored a Canelo Golovkin fight, the first fight, a draw, when Golovkin clearly won that fight. Let's not go by the judges at all. The judges, come on, we shouldn't just say, oh, the judges done it, so it must be right.
Makai, here's the thing: Golovkin gave Canelo a lot of trouble. So when Christian, you say that the style that Plant has is the slick style that causes. Well, Golovkin could cause. A lot of people thought he beat Canelo the first time, so it's not just the style that's slick. Canelo's actually done well against those guys. The guys that have actually been the physically strong, big guys with good jab like Golovkin have given him a lot of trouble. Gave him a lot of trouble.
And the reason why is because Canelo is very good in the pocket with his feet planted, and he's slick above the waist. So he's very good when he's got a guy who's going to be stationary in front of him. But he struggles.
Golovkin's got a better jab than Plant.
A moving target. What's that?
Golovkin's got a better jab than Plant.
It's different.
Do you think that's true?
It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different. It's different. Because the way he uses it. Plant throws the jab from different angles, and he uses it with his movement. Golovkin doesn't move.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be different in ways. Yeah, I can understand.
Guys, can you hear me?
We have seen. Yeah, I can hear you, man. Yeah.
Guys, we're back. Hello.
Hello. Golovkin does have a good jab. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says. Brendan says. Liam Williams hurt Andrade twice and had Andrade hopping for dear life. The second time, is that the guy that you think is going to beat Canelo, Christian? He's asking.
Oh, I know he'll beat Canelo. And you say that, okay, everyone says that Andrade got hurt in the fight. But was his legs wobbling? No. Was he knocked down? No.
His legs were wobbling. His legs did get wobbled, yeah. They did.
No, I didn't see that. I saw that fight. I didn't see his legs wobbling. And I didn't see him fall. He wasn't knocked down.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Jonathan, actually. Was Daniel Jacobs stationary? He wasn't stationary. He did use his feet a bit sometimes in that fight.
Daniel Jacobs is not slick. He's flat-footed and stationary.
He uses his feet. He does use his feet sometimes. He used it a lot with Golovkin. He used it in the Canelo fight as well. He's not just a guy who just stands still. Fair enough, he ain't got the head movement like Andrade, let's just say. He hasn't.
He is there to be hit. Jacobs is not slick. He's been knocked out before. He's not good defensively.
Yeah, who did he get knocked out by?
Pirog, I think his name.
Yeah, Pirog.
Pirog. Yeah, we didn't see obviously how he would go because of his I think a really bad injury. He had an injury. I don't really know what. Pirog, he was the real deal. He was the real deal. Oh, he had cancer.
Oh, you were talking about Pirog. Yeah, we're talking about Pirog.
Yeah, Pirog. Yeah, he was a real deal. Like he was. I mean, he was supposed to fight Golovkin. They were actually like scheduled to fight, and then obviously Pirog, something happened to him. Then obviously he couldn't continue boxing. But Pirog, he was a real deal. So people look at that way too much.
Listen, there's something to be said about the importance of controlling range. When you look at Ugas versus Pacquiao, Ugas won that fight because he established the jab, and therefore he was able to control the distance or range. And that's still going, and that, in my view, is going to be the key to this fight between Plant. If Plant can establish that jab and controls range, he's going to win that fight.
But Plant's not that great at using his distance. We only seen him get Feigenbutz because Feigenbutz, guess what? Didn't throw a flipping punch. that's why Caleb Plant looks so successful.
Yeah, but
he didn't throw a punch. Fighters was actually
but now Plant
bag.
is up. But now we're up. But now Plant is up against a guy who is very short relative to him, who is slow on his feet. That's easy work to control range.
What? Do you think? So
Yes.
do you think the Plant Canelo fight's going to be quite easy? You think it's going to be pretty easy? The Plant.
It's easy work to establish the range. I think he's not going to have a hard time establishing range. It's going to come down to his stamina in the second half of the fight. That is where I think that's the other variable that still, it can be argued either way. If his stamina holds, he's gonna win the fight.
Okay, yeah, okay, and but Christian, I've never seen Plant just win a fight with his feet and his jab. And as I've said, a Plant, he doesn't move around like let's just say like Lara. Plant only moves the same way, hence why he gets trapped sometimes. That's all he does. He's got a good jab, but I've never seen him win a fight like that. He's had to mix it up, throw some combos and everything. That's where he gets his success. He won't be able to do that. He won't be able to use his speed like that. He just won't. Because Canelo's not just going to stand there. Canelo's going to throw something back. He's going to make Plant wary.
I have seen Plant use his movement effectively in fights. So I don't know what fights you've been watching. That's not the fights that's not what I've seen.
Well, I've seen a lot. Did you watch Canelo Saunders fight? What I noticed when Saunders would throw a jab, sometimes Canelo would just slip it and then boom, counter it. He'll be doing the same thing to Plant as well.
Listen,
and Plant, he hasn't got that really fast feet just like that.
No. Listen, Billy Joe.
Saunders has got better footwork than Plant.
Let's not even bring up. No, he does not. No, he does not.
He does.
Listen, that
he does.
ABC 1, 2, 3 slickness. No, he doesn't. I disagree.
Saunders has way better feet than Plant.
Saunders is overrated. He's overrated. If his punch selection is not on par with Plant's, all Saunders does is jab, move, an occasional power punch behind the jab. He doesn't throw combinations on the move.
But Plant isn't going to be using his combos in this fight. You need to understand, he's not going to be using those kind of combos he does with Canelo. He's not. He's just not. Let's be honest.
He will.
Canelo is going to. Trust me, he won't. He'll try, and then he'll feel a body shot, and then he'll be like, "Oh, fuck that shit."
But what you're forgetting is, how is Canelo going to cut the distance to counter with that body shot? Being 5'8" and having cement in his feet.
Well, I've seen Canelo cut the ring off in mostly all his fights. He's definitely be able to do the same with Plant, especially when Plant only moves one way. He only moves one way, Plant. Canelo is going to be able to cut him off.
You're confusing cutting off the ring with cutting distance. Cutting off the ring is about cutting off lateral movement. Cutting distance is cutting length in order to count from a long jab.
His head movement. We saw it in the Saunders fight.
Yes, no, but head movement's not enough. He's got to move his feet. And against Saunders, he didn't have a 5-inch reach disadvantage. Saunders is maybe 5'11", if that.
What was the
is
reach?
Not as good as Plant's.
What was Saunders' reach and was Plant's reach?
Plant has a 74-inch wingspan. I believe Billy inches.
Yeah, Plant's a bigger guy. Billy Joe.
Plant's definitely bigger. Plant's definitely a bigger guy. No doubt.
But the fact is, a bigger guy means more body area, more opportunity for Canelo to get that. If Canelo can't block to the body, shots on his body, Christian, that's trouble for Plant. That's water in the basement. His legs are going to slow down. Everything is going to.
But he has to get in the pocket to do that damage to break him down.
Plant's footwork isn't that great either, just to avoid getting punched.
But how's Plant gonna be able to keep Canelo away? He hasn't got huge power. Was he gonna be able to dance around for 12 rounds?
Okay.
Yeah, he won't be able to do that.
Well, that's another fallacy. Listen, that's another fallacy. You don't need power to control range. Did he use power to control range on Pacquiao? No, he didn't. Did Floyd use
way different fight, way different circumstances?
Range? No, it's all about range is range. Neither Floyd nor Ugas used power. Listen, when Ali fought Liston, did he use power to beat Liston? No. Did his jab hurt Liston? No. And yet he controlled the range and outboxed Liston from afar.
But Christian, you're talking about guys that are very, very gifted fighters.
Yeah.
You're talking about somebody like Ugas, who was, you know, a very skilled amateur, you know, comes from a Cuban style of boxing, which are they're exceptional boxers, right? And Pacquiao was a little old past, you know, he isn't the same fighter he was 10 years ago. We all know that. And Mayweather is one of the greatest ever, as you can probably imagine. And the other guy who was it? Ali. We don't even need to mention Ali in terms of how great he was.
Yeah.
You know, and his feet movement, hand speed, movement was the best in boxing.
But Plant's movement in his feet emulates the American style of slickness. He emulates that style.
I don't know whether.
Yeah.
Look, Andrade's a lot more slicker than Plant, right? He's a lot more slicker.
Agree.
Would you agree with that?
Andrade, yes, I do. I think Andrade is a lot more slicker than Plant.
I do think Plant would beat Andrade, though. I do think Plant would.
No, I don't think so.
I think Plant would probably beat Andrade, yeah.
No.
So, Christian, out of all the guys at 160, 168, do you think Andrade would be the last man standing if he fights all of those guys? Or do you think there's somebody that could leave Canelo out, but all of the guys at 160 or 168, you think Andrade beats all of them?
Yes, I do. I think he'll be the last guy standing if they all fall.
Even Benavidez, do you reckon? Someone as big as Benavidez?
I would. Yes, I do. Yes.
What do you think of Benavidez, Christian?
You know, remember Benavidez. He has a high punch output. You know, he's aggressive, but he's got no defense. Great chin, but he's got no defense.
I'd agree. He's got very poor defense. You know? Very, very poor.
Yeah, his defense is very poor. Yes. Yeah, his defense is very poor.
A lot of people would pick him to beat Plant, though. A lot of people would say he beats Plant. He's too. You know, I've spoke to multiple people that think that Benavidez beats Plant, and Plant doesn't want that work.
Well, then why didn't Benavidez take the fight with Plant?
You think Benavidez didn't take that fight? A lot of people seem to think Plant didn't take that fight.
No. I saw something yesterday in social media from Benavidez. It was a snapshot of something from Benavidez's team that basically turned down the fight. I would have to read it again. You know, and so it looks like it was Benavidez's team who said, you know, they didn't want the fight at that time for unification. I would have to go find it and read it again.
I think Plant can beat Benavidez right now. I personally think that those two should have fought and the winner gets Canelo, to be honest with you, because a lot of people seem to think that. See, Christian, you're saying that Plant's got a very good chance against Canelo. A lot of people seem to think Plant's got no chance. I've seen a lot of pundits here in the UK even say Plant's got no chance. The only guy that could give him trouble is either Benavidez, the three Bs basically: Bivol, Beterbiev, and Benavidez.
Yeah,
I disagree. I mean, for example, let's not talk about the light heavyweight division, because the fact is, Canelo doesn't want to fight those guys at the weight limit. It's a joke, you know. So, but as far as
I want to know your opinion on that, Christian. I want to know your opinion on that. That he wanted to fight Bivol at 172.
Okay. It's hard for me to call it because from what I understand, he wanted the weight limit clause, and he also wanted a rehydration clause. If the rehydration clause is true, then it's a 50-50 fight because of the handicap, because Bivol's going to be affected no matter what. when he has to go down and wait, and he's strapped by a rehydration clause. It's now if you were to tell me no handicaps, I'm going with Bivol.
Really?
Yeah, I'll go with Bivol as well.
If there's no handicap, I'm going with Bivol.
So you think Bivol would out, or what, do you think he'd outbox him?
Yes, because he's got a good jab. Bivol has a good jab.
Yeah, Christian,
he's not very elusive. He's not very elusive, but he has a good jab, and that you need a jab at least to establish range. Because Canelo is basically a one-dimensional fighter. He fights on the inside. If you let him in, he's gonna beat you because he'll break you down on the inside.
So, but Canelo's shown that he can fight in the center of the ring. Against Golovkin.
Well, okay, when you mean by the center of the ring, are you talking about fighting in the center of the ring in the pocket, or from a distance?
So we have to put it against Golovkin. He did fight on. But again, how many fight? But again, Billy Joe, for example, he fought him from the center of the ring, and he was finding a way to get to Billy Joe, hitting him to the body. Billy Joe wasn't standing in the pocket, was he?
And the difference is that Billy Joe did not establish range. He didn't establish his jab. Canelo walked to the line unimpeded. That's why he was able to get in at times. He was able to land certain shots to slow Billy Joe down. Billy Joe fought scared. That's what it looked like to me.
I promise you, Plant is going to fight really scared as well.
I disagree. Plant is not Billy Joe. Plant has got dog in him.
Is that right?
So it's hard. I don't know whether Brendan, what do you want to say? I know you wanted to make some points. You were making comments in the comment section. What do you want to say, Brendan?
Sorry about that. That air conditioner was loud. I really have a hard time understanding why he rates Caleb Plant like so high. Like if you look at boxing on a what have you done for me lately, and also disclude resume, especially since Christian here has said explicitly not to include resume. Then if you just look at the skill set, and if you look at how each fighter is handling their respective opponents, Caleb Plant and Canelo, then it's no question. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders, if you compare that to how Caleb Plant looked versus Caleb Truax, it's no question. Oh, he had a broken hand. All right, what happened to his feet? Like he could have made that look even more impressive if he was still that good. Even if you look at Uzbekistan versus Caleb Plant. All right, if you compare that to how Canelo looked versus Yildirim, or how he looked versus Smith, or how he looked versus even Triple G, you can go back that far. It's much better performance, much better boxer. And I don't get this thing where you're talking about where he's one-dimensional. When Canelo has shown that he's plenty more complete than Caleb Plant, and even has better fundamentals. Like if you look at all of these side-by-side comparison videos of Canelo training and hitting the bag, hitting the mitts, and if you look at side-by-side comparisons of Caleb Plant doing the same, you can clearly see like Canelo is the one that's bringing his hands back to his face after each punch that he throws. Canelo is the one actually popping the bag, like really smashing the bag with each punch that he's throwing, and not
bags don't hit back. Bags don't hit back.
But you're saying
basically Plant's been fighting.
Resume doesn't matter though, right? We're talking about eye test and skill set, right? Resume doesn't matter, right?
Yes, of course.
I'm okay then.
Because
if you just look at their skill sets, it's almost like no questions asked. Like ignore what I said about the bag and just look at how they approach their technique. Like Caleb Plant don't even protect himself when he's throwing. You can't do that with a counter puncher like Canelo.
But here's the thing, Brendan. How can resume not matter though? I don't understand. If you're fighting better people, you're gonna look more exposed.
That's what he said. Oh, I know resume matters. I'm saying that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to Christian. No, my question is to Christian. That how can you say resume don't matter if you're fighting better guys? You're gonna be exposed more because they're better. They're gonna bring out your weaknesses a lot more because they're better fighters.
Callum Smith is not better than Plant.
No,
Billy
no,
Joe
you don't
Saunders is
understand what I'm
not better than
saying. You don't
Plant.
understand what I'm saying. You're saying resume don't matter. What I'm saying to you is that of course it does matter, because if Canelo's fighting better opposition than Plant, you're gonna see more weaknesses in Canelo than you are. For example, Canelo fought Golovkin. You saw weaknesses in Canelo's game. When Canelo fought Mayweather, you saw weaknesses in Canelo's game. When Canelo fought Lara, you saw weaknesses in Canelo's game because he's fighting top tier fighters, whereas Plant's fighting lower level tier fighters that are not able to push Plant to the brink. It doesn't matter how good Plant is. If he fights a great fighter, he's gonna bring out weaknesses in Plant, right, Christian?
Exactly.
Okay, and let me give you an example. Ugas. Look at Ugas's resume. Who did he beat?
He beat
Porter.
Sean Porter.
Yeah, he beat Pacquiao.
Sean Porter.
He got robbed against Sean Porter, Christian.
He got robbed. Yeah, yes, but he still lost. Unfortunately, I thought he beat him, but he still lost.
Okay? Yeah, but he won.
But
there you go. He won then.
Sean Porter, who has Ugas beat? Other than Porter, who has Ugas beat?
Why are we even
He doesn't have a long
about
resume of South.
Christian, you need to understand this was a 42-year-old Pacquiao who was.
The thing is with Ugas, right? Ugas hasn't had the opportunities. You know what I mean? He hasn't had the opportunity. Ugas was always a very good fighter, and when he fought Sean Porter, people knew he was a good fighter, and he proved it against Sean Porter. But Sean Porter's a very good fighter, and Ugas proved that night. What I'm saying is, apart from Jose Utsukatsi, and even Jose Utsukatsi, isn't in he isn't in the same level as Sean Porter, as accomplished as Sean Porter, right? So Ugas was a lot more accomplished for me than Plant right now. And then, okay, you're talking about him beating Pacquiao. That wasn't the best version of Pacquiao, Christian. It wasn't Pacquiao. It was still a good
Pacquiao. Christian, do you think Ugas would be a prime Pacquiao?
No.
I'm
asking Christian.
I think he could.
Okay, then, right. Yep.
I do think Ugas would have given Pacquiao problems because he's a counterpuncher. He's taller. He's big. Let's not forget, Pacquiao's not fought anyone as big and as mobile as Ugas with that kind of boxing skill.
Yeah, but I mean, man, we're talking
Margarito was stiff, Makai. He was stiff and he was there for Pacquiao to do what he needed to do. Ugas was a lot more mobile.
No, this is a prime Pacquiao. When Pacquiao fought Ugas, Pacquiao didn't use his feet. That 2 years obviously didn't help him at all. That wasn't the right Pacquiao at all.
Hey, can we get back to the skills?
The feet, the speed. He would beat Ugas.
Let's get back to the skill set. What we were talking about, the resume, right? Christian, the resume is everything in boxing. If you're fighting better opposition, right, they're gonna bring out more weaknesses and flaws. I don't understand. I don't quite understand when you say resume doesn't matter.
Okay, an example. You talked about Golovkin.
Yeah.
Okay, now Canelo's performance against Golovkin has no application in this fight because Plant doesn't fight like Golovkin. He's not going to sit there in the pocket.
They have the same jab. Golovkin has a bad jab.
Nothing you can take.
There's
nothing you can take.
Golovkin
gave Canelo trouble, though. I don't understand your point.
Yes, but it's a different fight. It's a different fight. Golovkin
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But Golovkin also gave Canelo trouble. That's what I'm saying. It's not like Golovkin got whitewashed by Canelo. He didn't get washed.
Golovkin has a better boxing brain than Caleb Plant.
Absolutely. No doubt in my mind about that. Golovkin's a better boxer than Caleb Plant. Of course, Christian's going to disagree because Plant has a little bit of footwork.
Oh, okay.
Golovkin's a better boxer than Plant.
Would Caleb Plant beat Golovkin?
Of course he's going to sink.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, of course.
I think Golovkin would pummel Plant.
No way.
Golovkin is slow. He's immobile. He's nothing special. He's simple.
Have you seen his last fight?
Do you think? Wait.
He's just
do you think Golovkin?
That's it.
Guys, speak one at a time. Let him speak, and then you give your counter arguments one at a time.
Golovkin is a banger with a chin and a jab, not much else.
So you don't think Golovkin cuts off the ring, Christian? You don't think he's fast with his feet and cuts off the ring?
Never watched his life.
What about Golovkin? I mean, what about Golovkin cutting off the ring?
Christian, you gotta start watching film study, dude. They got it all
We
on
can't
you.
hear you, Christian. We can't hear you again. I don't know. You've gone into a. We can't hear you, Christian. You've gone off again. I just don't see how we can say that Golovkin's a very skilled fighter. Christian, I can't hear you again. I can't hear you. Like Golovkin, man. Golovkin's look at his feet when he's cutting off the ring. He closes the distance and cuts off the ring, and he destroys fighters. He don't give them any breathing space. He puts a lot of physical and mental pressure on them, and he completely destroys them. You know, so I don't see that. I don't see how he would. I don't see how. I'm sorry. I don't see how Plant can beat Golovkin. I just can't. I just can't. You know. I just can't. You know. I just think it would be too difficult. I think it would be. See, for me, Christian, for me, GGG would have even. He would be even more dangerous for a Plant because GGG closes off the ring a lot quicker than Canelo. He's a lot more aggressive in his movement. Wouldn't you say? Isn't GGG got better feet than Canelo?
And he's good at using his distance as well.
Listen. We have never seen Golovkin fight someone who's elusive. There's no one in his resume that's very elusive. He doesn't want to fight Andrade for a reason, because he knows.
Okay, what about Golovkin versus Charlo? How do you think that fight would happen? How do you think that fight would go? Golovkin, Charlo.
Charlo's not elusive, and that would be an interesting fight because both guys have a good jab. Charlo likes to fight in the pocket, and they're gonna trade. I think Charlo will probably win because he has a chin and he's more athletic.
What, Golovkin don't have a chin?
No, he's not saying
Golovkin's got a chin too.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, it sounded like you said Charlo. Yeah.
Christian,
I don't. He did get badly about once.
I don't think you. I don't think you rate Golovkin, man. I think Golovkin is a great fighter. I think you're looking at him. I think you're looking at him and thinking he's not slick and he's a guy that takes a lot of shots. But I think his feet are good. I think his feet are good, to be honest with you.
A rude awakening.
And Christian, actually, I remember. I'm going back to this. Liam Williams. He's like, oh yeah, Canelo. He don't fight like Liam Williams. He doesn't come forward. Golovkin, he comes forward, and he's a lot better than Williams. He's not basic like Williams is. Uses his jab to set up his combos. I think he'd give Andrade hell then. If Liam Williams was giving Andrade hell, what makes you think Golovkin won't be able to? And Golovkin's powerful. Like, I mean, I don't know how. I'd like to see what he says about this because Williams gave him hell.
He just downplays it. Probably hasn't seen the fight in a while. He hurt him twice.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Christian will be back soon, so.
Brendan, can you bring your speaker close to you so we can hear you a bit better?
Oh, I'm here. But yeah, all I was saying was that if somebody as basic as Liam Williams can hurt him and actually close the distance and counter a right hand without even really having a jab, somebody sophisticated as Triple G is going to pick apart. Especially since every punch that he throws is going to be a thudding punch. And somebody like Plant doesn't really have that much punching power to keep something like that off him. So at that point, you just put A and B together. Like, and that's all I gotta say on that. It's not really that hard. Like, you see it differently, you just feel it.
To be fair, yeah, I think Canelo's the one that's doing all the legwork. He's the one that's fighting everybody. It seems to me like Andrade, Charlo, Golovkin, all those guys, Benavidez, Plant, they're all waiting for Canelo. They're all waiting for Canelo. Fought Callum Smith, he fought Billy Joe, he fought Daniel Jacobs, he fought Golovkin. But they're not fighting each other. Why are they? Christian, think about that. Think about that, right?
Listen,
you criticize Canelo.
I have thought about it.
But he's fighting everyone.
Listen, Andrade wants to fight Charlo. He wants to unify. But Charlo doesn't want smoke. Neither does Golovkin. So Andrade is not the problem. The problem is Golovkin and Charlo.
So why doesn't Andrade then move up and fight Benavidez? Or fight?
Because he doesn't have a belt. I heard an interview with Paul Andrade, Demetrius Andrade's father, and he explained that Benavidez doesn't have a belt.
So why move up to fight a guy who has no belt?
Because he's a risky fight. He's a low
No,
risk.
if he had a belt, if he had a belt.
But
he's
Christian,
a high
you
risk,
said
low reward
didn't
fight.
you say Andrade could be? Didn't you say Andrade could beat Beterbiev?
I believe he could if he moves up in weight.
So why not?
But he has to get acclimated.
If Andrade is that good, why not go up and fight Bivol or someone, or fight Joe Smith? Because Andrade's got a decent name now. Thing is, if he can't get a fight, Christian, he can't get a fight. Then sometimes you've got to go out your comfort zone and maybe try to be great. I don't know. I agree it out there because Andrade, I want to see him fight somebody 33 years of age. You need to see him fight another champion. If you're saying Golovkin and Charlo want nothing to do with him, I'm pretty sure those 175 guys aren't going to have a problem with fighting Andrade.
But the thing is, before he goes up there, he has to get acclimated to that weight. That's the other thing. So it's good. So he's gonna have to take a couple fights before he fights someone like that.
No, he can beat better BF, but he can do it just right now.
He could, but I think it will be wise for him to get acclimated at that weight first.
So why not fight Joe Smith then? He's not as good as Better BF. He's a champion.
Listen, I think that he needs to do something, outside the box, like move up. I agree, because he's not gonna get the fights. But you know what? Canelo should have fought him. He should have fought him at 154 when he had the belt, and he should have fought him for undisputed. Why didn't he fight him for undisputed? He ducked him. Why? We know why.
I wouldn't call my thinking Canelo with the undisputed thingy, but I'm not going for it again because you clearly have to listen to me about it.
I wrote an entire timeline of everything, of what happened back in 2019, and it's solid. And
Same, I can do the exact same thing, but I wanted to ask you this anyway. When you went, I said it, but you were gone. You know about the Liam Williams and Andrade fight? Obviously, you said he doesn't fight like Canelo. Liam Williams is a guy who comes forward. Yeah, right. You said that.
High punch output. Yeah.
Yeah. Golovkin does the exact same thing, except he's not basic. Golovkin, he starts everything with his jab. He comes forward, he's a lot more powerful, and he's a lot more smarter than Williams. So how does Andrade beat Golovkin? Because Andrade went through hell with Liam Williams. So what makes you think he won't go hell with Golovkin? Is that an easier fight?
Andrade will take away his jab and make him miss. Golovkin is slow.
No.
He's got slow. His hands are not fast.
Liam Williams was also slow, and Liam Williams was hitting him a lot. Whereas you like it or not, he hit him a lot, and it was not a dominant performance. Andrade went through hell. Andrade got hurt twice. Imagine what Golovkin would do to him.
All I gotta say is 10 or 12 rounds were scored in favor of Andrade.
What by judges? Yeah, okay. Then judges also scored the Canelo versus Golovkin fight, the first fight, a draw. When that clearly wasn't a draw. We need to stop talking about the judges like they actually know what they're doing. Sometimes they know what they're doing. Liam Williams, he won rounds, and he gave Andrade hell. He hurt him twice, and those rounds wasn't easy. He didn't. He didn't.
But Christian, they were competitive rounds, weren't they? Even though Andrade was winning.
Some of them were competitive rounds. I admit that. Some of it was competitive.
Yeah.
You can't be having competitive rounds with Liam Williams and expect to win.
Liam Williams is no slouch.
I agree. I'm from the UK. Liam Williams isn't no slouch. Yeah, he's a good fighter.
No slouch.
Well, Golovkin, he's a lot better. He's a lot better than Liam Williams. Golovkin is. So I mean, Golovkin would give Andrade hell.
He's a basic fighter.
Then why won't Golovkin fight him?
Pardon? He's fine. He'll fight him. He's
got a point. Golovkin's not fighting him, Makai. Golovkin right now is fighting Murata. He could have easily fought Andrade.
Yeah, well, you need to understand Golovkin, he's 39, and he's looking for a money fight. Murata is a money fight.
Okay, Makai, you just hit the nail on the head. He's looking for a money fight. That means in Golovkin's head, he thinks that I favor Golovkin. I would favor Golovkin to beat Andrade. I know Christian thinks otherwise, but I would favor him. But the fact of the matter is, Christian's got a point where he's saying, and you just back that point up, Makai, by saying Andrade is looking for a money fight. Golovkin is looking for a money fight, which means that's why he's fighting Murata, because he looks at Murata as an easier fight.
No, he doesn't. No. No, he's been trying to fight Morat he even tried to fight Morat before he fought Canelo. They was always trying to get that fight.
But
And
that's what I'm saying.
people seem to think, people seem to think, yeah, Andrade. Right, people seem to think.
Is Morata an easier fight than Andrade?
Oh, I don't know. Right, people
You
seem
don't
to
think
think,
so?
yeah. I don't really know, to be honest, no. But people, you know, they seem to think, oh, Andrade, he wants to fight Golovkin because he's calling him out. Yes, and what? Andrade, he calls everyone out, but he doesn't actually try to fight them, does he? He's not trying to fight them. As Andrade's team actually went to Golovkin. You know, I remember when Andrade lied and said, "Oh yeah, that DAZN, they tried making me fight Golovkin."
Dazn stepped in
and then Andrade's promoter, like a year after, yeah, and Hearn said, "Why haven't DAZN tried making Golovkin fight Andrade?" He was complaining about it. But I thought Andrade said they tried making him fight Golovkin. Andrade is just a guy who loves to talk. You see, you get guys like Canelo and Golovkin who are actually taking the fights, and then you get guys like Charlo and Andrade who are just all talk and they're not taking the fights. Hence why Charlo, he's been calling out all these guys, but then when he gets a chance to fight them, he turns them down. These guys, they're all talk. People need to stop thinking, oh yeah, they want to fight this guy because they're calling him out. They're just clout chasing. Andrade, right, he was scheduled to fight Jamel, Charlo, and Derevyanchenko. He pulled out of those fights. So people need to stop using he's avoided excuse as well.
He didn't pull out of the fight. They didn't agree on terms.
He pulled out the Derevyanchenko fight. He pulled out the Derevyanchenko fight. Yes, there was. He pulled out of the fight.
There's no contract.
He pulled out the fight. Andrade, he needs to stop talking so much, saying he's avoided.
Boxing has contracts. If there's no contract in place, you can't pull out of a fight. You could only
no, there was contracts and there was contracts and everything that Andrade pulled down.
No, there wasn't a contract.
Yes, there was.
There was no contract was ever made. Did you read the lawsuit?
Exactly what this guy is saying, dude, bro. Andre's pull-up game is very strong.
To fight Jamel.
Yes, there was.
No, there wasn't.
But Andrade, you know, he just loves to talk, but he never likes taking the big fights.
Contract requires an offer and an acceptance.
There was an offer and everything.
There was an offer.
I'm also talking about Derevyanchenko. He pulled out in the last minute.
And Derevyanchenko, they did not agree on terms either.
Yes,
the money wasn't there.
But why would Andrade want to pull out anyway? Why I don't know. Why would he want to pull out?
They didn't agree on terms.
I want to try and find it. Let me try and find it because I did see it. Andrade pulled out, and he also pulled out the Jamel fight. So people need to stop talking about the avoided excuse.
We're frustrated, right? As boxing fans, we're frustrated because we're not getting Andrade in the ring. Obviously, you think you have a lot of confidence in Andrade's abilities, right? So, and even Steven thinks Andrade's a quality fighter. I'm not saying Andrade's not good, but what does he have to do? It just seems like there's all issues around him. There's no big fights being made here. They want to fight, but what does he have to do?
At this point, listen. He can move up to the 168 and invoke his mandatory status to fight Canelo, but Canelo won't fight him. Canelo will either drop the belt or he'll wait around because if he remains undisputed, then the mandatories will go in a rotating order, and he'll probably wait out Andrade, hoping that he gets older. He's already 33.
Canelo tried fighting Andrade.
Is there a possibility then that Andrade's prime is past him? We don't know.
Yeah, he's 33.
And remember,
so now all of a sudden Andrade's out of his prime.
He's a guy that relies on reflexes and speed and movement. So that's gonna pass him by. He's 33. When's we gonna get him in the ring with somebody, Steven? Can't hear you, Steven. Can't hear you. We can't hear you, Steven. We can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Come back.
I don't know why I do that every time. Every time I do that. What's up, Christian, man? How you doing, Christian?
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Steven.
But you know, here's the thing. Here's the meat and potatoes on Christian. I mean, on not Christian, but Demetrius needs to do something to become more active, so he can show and prove himself. Because like the guys like me and you, I know you, Christian. You see Demetrius Andrade's ability. You see his potential, but he's not staying active. You got to be active, man. Stay active, man. Get out there, man. Put your name in the hat, man, and say, hey, listen, I'm not about just saying Canelo. Show me the money. I want something. If I can't get Canelo, let me see what Jamal Charlo talking about. If Jamal talk about, huh?
And he did that. They extended a $7 million offer to Charlo for the fight, and Charlo said no, it's not enough. He's trying.
Charlo said it's not
same
enough.
thing with Golovkin.
He's not trying to fight Golovkin. There's actually no proof of him trying to fight Golovkin. No,
Dazin stepped in, and Dazin was trying to force Golovkin's hands to fight Andrade.
Yeah, that I've heard about as well.
That's reported.
So why is Andrade now trying to fight Eubank? Because surely if Golovkin's not allowed to fight anyone instead of Andrade, why is Andrade? That makes no sense.
Golovkin is intent on Murata, on Toyota Murata.
Hey, somebody's eating in the background.
Yeah, someone's eating in the back. It's really annoying.
Some hot pockets.
Guys, who's eating in the background? Can you stop?
Or eat with your mouth closed.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically the problem is with Demetrius Andrade. I think we've all kind of agreed on it that Andrade is 33 years of age. You know, his years are passing him by. We need him to fight somebody. Otherwise, he's going to be known as the guy that fought nobody really. Let's be real. His resume's very poor right now, man. Very poor for a guy.
Oh yeah, and Imran.
Andrade's been. You know, Andrade was around, right? Andrade was. I remember Andrade because I got into boxing around when I started watching about 2008-7 time. Andrade fought. I swear in 2012 he fought Brian Rose. In 2012.
Yeah.
You know, and that was ages ago. That was ages ago, and everyone was saying, well, Andrade now needs to step up. That was 9 years ago. 9 years ago. And yet 9 years on, we're still talking about whether Andrade is going to get a big fight.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Andrade's just been ridiculous.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, Makai, man. I'm of the same frame of mind, man. At some point, man, you got to put the blame on. You got to put the blame on Andrade.
Yeah. I mean, right, Lara. He was avoided Lara, but he still fought good fighters. We still saw him fight ranked guys. Why can't Andrade all of a sudden do? Why can't Andrade do that? And also Andrade ducked Lara. So I mean, there's that.
Here's the thing though. Golovkin was, for me. I blame Golovkin for the same way I blame Andrade, in the sense that Golovkin, right? He did exactly the same thing. He didn't go up and fight Andre Ward, and yet he was blaming Canelo. Oh, I want a Canelo fight, but Golovkin didn't go up and fight Andre Ward. Golovkin stayed in his own division when there was weak fighters there. Why didn't Golovkin?
Wait a minute.
Andre Ward. He was. Yeah. Go on, Chris. Stephen.
Well, I was just gonna say, and tell me if y'all agree or not. But I think Gennady, he was kind of. He still. See, man. This is how I would be if I was Gennady. I would be kind of butthurt. I would be kind of upset that I was cheated out of a fight, and then the second fight was close. It could have went either way, give or take. But I wouldn't be focused on anyone else except for Canelo. You think that's Christian? What do you think?
I could see why Golovkin wants the third fight. You know, I mean, he did. I thought he won the first fight. The second fight, it was really close. I think Canelo won, but had it been scored for Golovkin, I would say okay, it's reasonable. But I can see why he wants the third fight. But the fact is, I don't think Canelo doesn't want the fight for whatever reason, and personally, I don't want to see it either. I mean, it's not a fight that interests me.
Ash, what's your take?
Right, man. How are you? You good?
Good, man. How are you? There's been a lot of heated arguments.
I just came in the middle of it. Were you talking about Caleb Plant and Canelo? What was it? Sorry, Canelo and who?
Yeah, so Canelo and we're talking about Andrade. Then we were talking about early on. We were talking about Plant and Canelo. So Christian seems to believe that Plant will beat Canelo because of the his foot speed, his reach advantage. He can keep Canelo on the outs. He'll keep on the outside and outbox Canelo. What's your take?
I don't think he can do that because has he shown that in the past that he can do that to lesser fighters? So
he hasn't done it to anybody of Canelo's caliber. But Christian says resume don't matter. He says that you have to look at it a fight by fight basis.
Resume doesn't matter because you can fight 10 taxi drivers and then beat them, knock him out in the first round. What does that?
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
What does that count?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Resume doesn't matter. But obviously, what Christian maybe mean is when you fight the fighters, so that matters as well. So you can have the names on your record, but if you fought them at the right times, then it means more than fighting a 50-year-old fighter like, I don't know, Bernard Hopkins, than fighting him when he was 30. You with me?
Yeah.
But Canelo, Canelo beats Caleb Plant because he's too experienced for him. He's got too much in the bag for him. He's got too many skills. He'll have the answers for Caleb Plant.
Can I say something real quick?
Go on.
Yeah.
Listen, PSA announcement. I'm not saying, I'm just saying that to report that Caleb Plant is going to beat Canelo, but I'm just saying this. Caleb Plant is one hell of a fighter, man.
No,
Take it how you want. Canelo is too. But Caleb Plant, I think he's taller. He has a longer reach. And that dude can straight up box.
What you gotta remember,
with Caleb ain't got no power.
Then so what's gonna happen then?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's a tough one.
Put it this way.
I mean, Caleb ain't gonna be just a walk in the park.
Put it this way.
He's not gonna be a walk in the park.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What you just said was that he's got a lot of tools, but he hasn't got the power. So all Canelo needs to do is walk him down, and he can do that. And then what's gonna happen then to Caleb Plant?
But that's the problem.
Another thing.
You see,
Has he been in an arena at 40,000, 50,000 in front of that kind of crowd against a top caliber guy?
When Canelo takes a step forward to walk him down, he's gonna shoot. Caleb's gonna shoot that jab to stunt his progress. As soon as he hits him, he's gonna move, and then Canelo has to reset his feet again.
Then you're gonna see adjustments. You're gonna see adjustments in the ring, mate. He's not a guy that's gonna just get frustrated over the jab and a bit of movement. Canelo's the type of guy that's a lot of styles.
Control range. It's not to hurt your opponent. It's to control range.
You can hurt the opponent with a jab as well.
But that's not the reason why you have a jab. The purpose of a jab is to control range.
There's different types of jabs. How you throw a jab. You can throw a jab different types of ways. So the way you throw a jab is how you're using it. If you're gonna pour your jab out there, that's showing range. Trying to find out where the guy is range. But if you're gonna put it out fast and hard, that's
Christian. Did you not see Canelo?
But if he hits Canelo and stuns him, he doesn't have to hurt him. Just stun him so he can move. Force him to reset his feet. It's boxing 101.
So he's going to do that all night then, for 12 rounds. He's going to do that all night.
I think he could do it for 12 rounds.
Okay, that's your opinion, isn't it? Well, I don't think so.
No, he can't.
But here's the thing, Christian. You said Golovkin. If Golovkin was to fight, I said to you that don't you think Golovkin could walk Caleb Plant down? He's more aggressive and his movement is more purposeful than Canelo. His feet are far, like in terms of his feet, are better in terms of the way he closes off the ring. But you don't seem to think that. You think that Golovkin's not.
And I will tell you why. Because Golovkin harder fight Golovkin. Because Golovkin has no defense. It's easier to hit Golovkin than it is Canelo.
Canelo's got head movement.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, Ash, that Golovkin cuts off the ring better than Canelo. So how would Caleb get away from Golovkin?
What it is Golovkin's educated. That's why he does his all his career. So his feet are educated, so he knows how to close the ring down, how, when. So when this guy is saying that,
Golovkin
what
is
did he
slow.
say?
He's slow.
Golovkin's slow, but then he's slow maybe now, but he wasn't slow 3-4 years ago. He's not that slow, but he's
He
slower
was
than
slow
Canelo.
3-4 years ago too. He was never fast. He was never fast.
What with cutting off the ring? He wasn't fast. Like you don't think he could cut
cutting off the ring is stopping lateral movement. I'm talking about hand speed, reflexes.
No,
yeah,
he's right about that.
Listen.
Wait.
What? Listen, the guy is saying like Golovkin's got no speed. He beat Danny Jacobs. He beat some top fighters. If he had no speed,
because
he couldn't beat
Danny
them
Jacobs is stationary.
Danny Jacobs is
not slick.
What are you talking
about?
And he's not good
I'll let you
defensively.
Well, I do agree with I agree with Christian because speed isn't the name of the game with Gennady.
No.
Speed that's not his game. His game is predicated on power and good foot movement.
That's what we're saying though. He's on about speed.
So what do you think then, Stephen? Stephen, do you think Caleb Plant would be able to get away from Golovkin for 12 rounds with that pressure?
No, I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
Hell no.
Christian says that Golovkin's slow and Caleb Plant would outbox him, and I just can't envision that. I don't know. I don't think you rate the Canelo or Golovkin. They're not slick fighters.
I'll tell you this, Imran. I'm gonna tell you this. I think Gennady gives Caleb Plant a harder time than Canelo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I agree. Yeah, Golovkin definitely
stylistically does. It's a bad. Like I always thought, Billy Joe would give Canelo a harder fight than Golovkin because Golovkin cuts off the ring so much better. He's so much purposeful, and the problem is with these guys, Christian, they don't have any power. You have to have a little bit of power to keep them off.
I disagree.
They're going to keep walking you down.
I disagree. Floyd has no power. And did he beat Canelo with power?
It's an anomaly.
Hey, Christian, do you know what? I didn't see Floyd in that fight though.
I just think we're losing Floyd. Floyd's so gifted and he's so great. I just don't.
But he has no power. He's feather fisted, and yet he beat Canelo at his own game in the pocket. And he used range. He used his jab to control range.
Yeah, but he's been with so many good fighters though. Who's Caleb been with? Floyd Mayweather's been with Cotto and you can name where the guys he's been in with. So he's got that experience.
Caleb has
to do that for 12 rounds.
He's beaten them all. Has he
fought big names like
Canelo?
You're comparing him to Floyd Mayweather. Who's he for?
I'm not comparing to Floyd Mayweather. What I'm saying is
you
don't need power to beat a slugger. You don't.
Yeah, but you just said no. Let me finish. You said that Floyd Mayweather didn't have power and he beat someone's Canelo, right?
Yes.
But
to show that you don't need power to beat a slugger.
Not just power, but you need experience and being in there for 12 rounds and dealing with the top guys.
You need skills. Let's not talk about experience. Okay. You need skills.
But Christian, I remember in our last stream, I spoke about Callum Smith, and you said Callum Smith hasn't fought anyone outside the UK.
That's true.
So you was talking about Resume. So Resume obviously does mean something. And all I'm saying is
to assess whether Callum Smith can beat Caleb Plant. When I look at fights, I look at skills. I don't look at resume.
Yeah. I look at both. But right,
you don't look at resume. We just look at
about the Floyd Mayweather thing. I didn't. Right. Well, first of all, Floyd. You're talking about Floyd here. Okay, Floyd is gifted. He beat a lot of great fighters. He's one of the best, and Plant is nowhere near that at the moment. And I didn't see Floyd in that fight. Floyd, he wasn't running around the ring like Lara was. Floyd was just using his reflexes and everything, using his distance. But you're talking about Plant just using his feet, circling around with a jab.
But Makai, that wasn't Canelo at his best, was it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And Canelo also. Yeah, Canelo is also a lot better now. But like Floyd, he didn't actually fight how you're thinking Plant's going to fight. He didn't. Imran, was Floyd running around the ring? He wasn't, was it? He was standing his ground usually.
Floyd is shorter.
Yeah, exactly.
Had a 5-inch reach advantage. He would stick that jab out there and fight it from a distance.
Imran,
Plant's jab isn't as great as you think. His footwork isn't as great as you think either. Plant's never won the fight like that. He's never won a fight like that. He hasn't.
Here's the thing, guys. One sec. Christian saying that Caleb's gonna keep Canelo he's gonna keep Canelo on the outside, right? I don't know. Canelo is not a one-dimensional fighter. I know Christian says he is, but for me, Caleb's more one-dimensional, right?
Okay,
Because
explain to me what dimensions does Canelo have other than moving forward as a pressure counter fighter?
Tell him.
Can he fight on that?
Canelo can box in the center of the ring.
Go on, Makai, tell him, man.
No. When you
Makai,
say,
tell him.
okay, now when you say in the center of the ring, are you talking about being in the pocket in the center of the ring?
So tell him what I was
listening.
So,
he wants to know what's Canelo's
but
skills.
Canelo's got more tools, Christian. He's got more
okay,
power.
tell me what the tools are.
Okay, he's more powerful. Would you agree?
Okay, power's not really a skill. Okay.
Rim generalship, man.
Let's put that aside.
Canelo's got great IQ. Great IQ.
What about defense? What about slickness?
He's slick above the waist, but below the waist he is not. His feet are slow.
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't need to be slick. As you you really rate people that are slick. Canelo doesn't need to be on his feet.
Counter punching ability.
He's pretty good. Okay, his counter punching is effective as long as he's within range in the pocket. So what are we saying that Caleb's gonna? How's Caleb gonna? So you said I've read your explanation. So you think Caleb's gonna keep him on the outside, and Caleb's just gonna? So are you saying he's gonna pot shot him all night? Pot shot him all night and get away. I think he's gonna pot shot him all night.
No way Plant's got the stamina for that. He definitely won't have stamina.
Is that what you think's gonna happen
when Canelo's gonna break his ribs?
Yes, he's gonna pot shot him from afar.
So
right, let me say something, Imran.
That means if that does happen, that's gonna be a horrible fight to watch, right? Because that means it's gonna be a really terrible. Like Floyd's fight with Canelo was actually exciting. Floyd was walking Canelo down in that fight.
Exactly, Imran. Yeah, I mean,
he walked him down, but the way he did it because he kept him off balance.
What, you think Plant can do that? Come on.
Yes, I do. Plant has a 5-inch.
Plant is not gonna do that.
Canelo's gonna impose his will on him.
Floyd was very disciplined. He had done that before. Floyd was very, very disciplined fighter.
Yeah, exactly, man.
He
I mean,
Plant to a game plan. He knew what he needed to do. Floyd had so many tools in the toolbox. I just don't see Plant on that.
If Plant tries what Floyd doing,
Plant will
get knocked out.
Yeah, experience, and he was more experienced.
Listen, the bottom line is this: Floyd showed that you don't need power to beat Canelo, who's the stronger guy.
You need IQ, though. You need top IQ.
Christian, Eric actually had a good point. What about the feints? How's Plant going to deal with the feints? Okay, Saunders, he was having fits with that.
Problem because listen, the feints from a distance is not going to be a problem because how is Canelo going to cut distance off the feint? His feet are still too slow to cut range. It's about his feet.
Feints are very effective, right? When Canelo would land on him, yeah.
Write a letter to Caleb, like you told me, Mama.
Right. Right, Christian, yeah, obviously, right. Canelo, he obviously is going to land on him. It's true, he's going to land them. Plant will for the power. That's when the feints start getting effective because we know Plant's not going to like it when Canelo does hit him. So that's when the feints are going to be effective. It's going to make Plant a lot more wary. It done it with Callum Smith, done it with Saunders, and I mean you can't.
Yeah, but Callum Smith was there. Callum Smith's not elusive. He's a tree.
Saunders is elusive. A tree. That's a good one.
Billy Joe Saunders.
Saunders is elusive though.
Has no punch selection to go with his movement, and he didn't establish his jab.
I'm right. Plant is not going to be using those flashy combos he loves using when his opponents are human punching bags. That's when he's fast. But he's not. Canelo is not just going to stand there saying, "Oh, go on, then I'll let you throw a 6-punch combo at me." He's going to counter back to the body like he done with Saunders.
Here's the thing, Christian. Fair enough, Christian's going with the underdog. It takes a lot of things because Christian, he's on Facebook, he's on social media, so he's giving his view on this fight and how he feels it's going to go, right? And as we saw with like Gamo and as we saw with even Makai, for example, who thought Pacquiao would destroy Ugas, right? The underdog necessarily doesn't always lose, right? Underdogs can win, right? It's happening all of boxing. So I'm not fighting Caleb Plant. Oh, I've said this as well, that I think Caleb Plant, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not picking Caleb to win, but I wouldn't be shocked if it happens. I've seen bigger upsets in the sport of boxing. But I do think, Christian.
No. That's a shock.
You're undermining Canelo's boxing ability. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think you rate Canelo very highly, Christian.
I don't.
I'm going to be honest.
I don't. I don't.
So you're saying the guy that's the best or the best fighter in the world?
He's not the best fighter in the world. He's not.
Who's the best fighter in the world?
So
Who's the best fighter in the world?
Best pound for pound fighter in the world. What do you look at, Christian?
Right now, it's hard to say. But I'll tell you why. And I don't get Canelo the pound for pound
Christian, can you say your top three?
It's all smoke and mirrors. It is.
So who's
Christian,
your best fighter in the world then?
Say top three.
I would have to say right now, I think Crawford is better pound for pound.
Oh dear. Okay.
But the thing with Crawford is he hasn't fought the top level competition at 147.
But I thought resume don't mean anything.
Low divisions he has.
I thought resume didn't mean anything.
When it comes to pound for pound, you have to look at resume because pound for pound is a mythical status. Okay, we're not assessing a fight.
Who's your top three? Who's like number 2 and 3 then? Is Canelo in there or is he not?
Not Canelo. My favorite fighter right now. No, my favorite fighter right now is Boots Ennis.
You know, like pound for pound.
We're asking for your favorite.
Pound for pound, like top 3 pound for pound. That's what I mean.
I don't really. It's hard for me to say because the state of the sport is so poor that the fights that need to be made aren't being made. Yeah, so it's hard to say. So I would have to throw Spence in there, Crawford in there. I would even venture to say. I mean, the thing is, he hasn't fought the guys yet, but I would even throw Ennis in there because of his skills. And Jermell Charlo because he's been fighting top level competition in his division.
Wait. Okay, right. First of all, okay, right. I've got to say something here, Christian. Obviously, right. You picked Jermell Charlo because he's fighting top guys in his division. That's absolutely true. Even though, in my opinion, he lost his last fight. He lost the last fight against Casano. But Jermell, he hasn't got that. He hasn't really got great skills. Canelo, in fact, does have great skills, and he's beaten Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders, the top guys in their division, and he's about to beat Plant. So, I mean, it's a bit. I'm sensing a little bit of bias there.
Canelo has yet to prove that he can solve the riddle of American slick boxers. He is a wood-head style since Floyd. He lost to Lara, and since then, every guy that he's fought has been stationary targets, with the exception of Billy Joe. But Billy Joe's slickness is not American slickness.
But Jermell Charlo, Terence Crawford.
He's a fraud.
Okay, right. Jermell Charlo, Terence Crawford, and Errol Spence. They haven't fought anyone, well, as you like to say, an American slick fighter. So how are they in your pound for pound then? You need to keep the same energy.
It's more diverse than Canelo's. It's more diverse.
How? I mean, but Spence. So you think Spence is more skilled than Canelo? Spence hasn't fought a slick fighter. There's no way Spence is more skilled than Canelo. Let's be real here.
No. I think Crawford is more skilled than Spence, and in fact, I think Ennis is more skilled than both Crawford and Spence.
Okay, that's fair enough. You think that, but all right, let me talk about Spence because he's number 2 for you. But Spence, he is not more skilled than Canelo, and he has not fought an American slick fighter, as you love saying. So how is he top 2?
But he's fought top guys in the welterweight.
So is Canelo. Canelo, he beat Golovkin. He was the number 1 middleweight. He beat Callum Smith the number 1.
Golovkin was never the number 1 middleweight in my eyes.
He was. And Callum Smith,
middleweight has always been Andrade. Always been Andrade.
No, it's not. Right. Golovkin,
guys.
He was number 1 at middleweight, and Callum Smith was number 1 at super middleweight. So those are the facts.
Callum Smith is a stiff.
What's the top 3 then, Christian? What's your top 3?
He was number 1 ranked on. That's what I'm saying. He was number 1 ranked.
Fighting guys on the UK circuit. Yeah, give me a break.
But I thought resumes don't mean. But you said resumes don't mean anything, and now you're talking about it like you're.
We're talking about assessing pound for pound. Who's the best?
That's a contradiction, that is, man. That's a contradiction, that is.
Yeah, like you're.
No, it's
not.
You're
digging yourself in a deeper hole.
Guys,
no, it's not. When you're assessing a fight,
you can't pick and choose when you want to check resumes. You can't pick and choose when you look at resumes.
Guys, speak one at a time. One at a time.
Go on, Makai.
No, Stephen. What do you want to say anything?
Go on, Stephen. Come in, Stephen.
Okay, man. What scares me about that fight, the potential fight, and I don't want to get into this schematics or the intricacies of Andrade, but what scares me with that fight with Caleb Plant and Canelo is I'm gonna say this, guys. Canelo is so incredibly tough. He's so incredibly durable. I'm not sure that Caleb Plant could slow him down or make him, or garner the respect he so needs to win a fight like that. I'm just not sure. Now, boxing wise, I say Canelo. I say Caleb is he's a better boxer than Canelo, but he's not tougher than Canelo. He's not stronger than Canelo. Canelo is gonna walk through his shots and kind of look at him like, "Oh, is that all you got?"
Yeah.
What do you say, Christian? What do you think? I mean, honestly.
Honestly, like I've been saying, power doesn't win fights. Skills do. And if you got skills,
So
you can neutralize power.
I guess
Canelo's got both. Canelo's got both.
Canelo's got the skills to beat Canelo. Yes, they do. I believe that.
I think you just hate Canelo, man.
I want to go back to Ash. One sec. Let me. You know what? Let me go back to this point that Christian made. Christian goes that Canelo's not been fighting slick fighters. Am I right, Christian?
He hasn't, and it's it's a fact.
Oh
it's a fact.
Okay. So you know what I think Christian's doing there? Like I think Christian, what you're saying there about him not fighting slick fighters, or what British fans did with Amir Khan. If he doesn't fight a puncher, it doesn't count. So if he doesn't beat a puncher, it doesn't count. So Amir beat a lot of good skilled fighters, but the British fans never ever gave him credit, apart from Maidana, because Maidana was a puncher. So that's not fair, is it, Christian? That just because he didn't fight a slick fighter, just because you think he has trouble with those fighters, that it don't count if he beats other guys. The same way if Amir beats Devin Alexander or beats Zab Judah, it doesn't count because they're not big punchers. It's not fair, right? That's not fair. Think about it.
Listen, whether it's fair or not, I think, and I think it's Canelo's case, it's fair to criticize him because he has intentionally avoided that style. He avoided it intentionally.
Billy Joe.
Not once, but twice. In two different divisions.
For Lara.
Billy Joe, Christian. People thought you were saying before that Billy Joe could beat him.
Was he? Oh, was it?
I never said Billy Joe could beat
him. Was that Turin man?
Well, but you did say that style. You didn't say Billy Joe could beat Canelo?
No, I did not. No.
So you never said that Billy Joe's style could cause Canelo issues.
Yeah, man. Have you got the messages?
No. I said you could have to give him trouble, but I didn't predict that Billy Joe would beat Canelo. And I had a variety of reasons because Billy Joe's slickness is not the type of slickness that you need to beat Canelo. Because very simple.
Look up that video, man.
All right, okay.
I disagree.
I thought he did say that. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. But okay, yeah. You're saying Caleb beats Canelo, right?
Yes.
Okay, if Canelo beats Caleb Plant, are we gonna hear that? Oh well, Caleb didn't fight the fight, or Caleb didn't fight this fight, or Caleb didn't fight. You're gonna Canelo credit, right? If he wins this fight.
I'll give him credit for beating Plant. But I still want to see him fight Andrade because I do think Andrade is better than Plant.
Fair enough, but the question is that after, if Canelo was to beat someone like Plant, because you think that obviously Plant's an American fighter and he is slick, then Canelo deserves credit, you know. He is taking, and he has, let's be honest, Canelo has taken the fight, so he's not afraid. He has signed it. They're all gonna fight. So hopefully, Christian, that if he does beat Plant, right, he gets credit. And even if he doesn't beat Plant, right, and he loses, he gets credit because at least he's stepping up and fighting, something that we need to see from Andrade, Charlo, and all the others, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. So that's my take. Steven, do you want to come in and give your opinion?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I think we have to. First of all, we have to we have to look at, you know, what we view as, you know, physical advantages and so forth, and kind of, you know, go off of that. But yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, man. I think, but you know what, man, I think Christian, I think a lot of times he gets not really attacked, but he gets called to the carpet a lot. But a lot of what Christian says is based on, you know, statistical data, and you know, it's not really based on it's based on. I know he may
No,
seem like a
not
home.
I.
Go ahead, Ash.
I was just saying, the way he talks about Canelo, I feel like he hasn't watched him.
I've been watching
It's just
Canelo
because
since he beat Kirkland many years ago. I saw him
so
from
how
the
can you
beginning.
say, how can how can you say he's got no skills and no power, whatever you said he's got no
But
skills?
listen, the guy, he fights only in one direction. He comes forward. He doesn't fight effectively off the back foot. He doesn't shoot shots from odd angles. He doesn't have swift, quick feet movement. He's slow in his feet. And because his feet are slow, it's what limits him as a fighter. He's not complete. He's slick above the waist, but not below. He's not complete.
When no one can beat him. When no one can beat him besides Floyd Mayweather
Because he's
years
fighting
ago.
the guys that fit his style, guys who are there to be hit.
Saunders
So
wasn't there to be hit.
Yeah.
Saunders is not on par with the level of slickness of American fighters, like an
He's
Andrade.
better. He's more slick than Prime.
He is not. He's
He
an
is.
ABC 1-2-3 fighter. He'll jab on the move. He'll do an occasional power punch off the jab, but not much else. He uses movement not to box, but to escape.
What I don't understand is, right, fair enough. You got your opinion on Canelo. Fair enough. Everyone has their own opinions. But what I don't understand is the confidence you have behind Caleb Plant. But I don't understand if you beat some top guys and, showed his skills in the ring. You're talking about things he's done with lesser fighters and you're saying he's going to do that to Canelo. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because, listen, Canelo hasn't fought a guy with his length, with his
Does it make sense to
mobility.
you guys, besides Chris? Does it make sense to everyone else?
No, that makes no sense to me.
Okay, at least someone agrees with me.
Yeah, to be
Anyway,
honest,
Christian,
I don't envisage like Caleb being able to pull this off. I think it'll be a massive upset if he does, and he will definitely surprise a lot of people.
Yes.
Thing is, Christian, Steven, all of you guys in the how is he going to be able to? Canelo right now feels good about himself. Canelo right now has got momentum. He's got everything on his side, momentum. He's in a great place mentally. He's improved so much. He hasn't lost the fight. I just don't see it.
But you know what, Imran? But you know what, Imran? Let's just call a spade and say that Canelo has been a beneficiary several different times.
Yeah,
and I don't want to.
I'd agree.
Okay, so that empowers thinking, the psychology of a fighter. When you've never lost, you haven't lost since eons ago. You're empowered mentally. But I'll say this: what Caleb has is he has an incredible skill set, footwork, movement, so forth. He may not have power, but he has hunger. He has hunger, and he should have determination. He should have the willpower to want to go in there and want to overthrow Canelo. That's why I'm not counting him out. But as far as Canelo's he's just a machine, man. That dude is just a killer, man. Canelo is just, you can say what you want to about Canelo all day long, but what you have to say about Canelo is that he is a straight killer, man.
Canelo didn't look like a killer in a lot of his fights. He hasn't.
It's a noise, man.
Yeah, what's that noise?
Yeah, I know. Is that you, Makai?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, Christian, but again, that's why when you say that resume doesn't count, as Steven just pointed, you said that Steven just said that he's been looking like a killer, and you're saying that, well, he hasn't looked like a killer in a lot of his fights. The thing is because he's been fighting great fighters. That's why when you fight great fighters, they bring out your weaknesses.
I don't think Golovkin is great. I've already explained that. Golovkin.
You don't think Golovkin's great?
He's not the best middleweight. He's not the most skilled middleweight. If Canelo had fought Andrade at 164 undisputed and beat him, then I would say, you know what? Canelo is the top dog. because he beat someone who's highly skilled and slick, the style that gives him trouble. And he beat a guy with that style, the best of that style. But he's avoiding that style, and he's always been avoiding it.
Golovkin was great.
Golovkin is a banger. He's there to be hit. It's a perfect fit for Canelo's style. That Canelo's been picking. I mean, all the guys that he's been fighting are tailor-made for that style.
Let me tell you something, Christian. Caleb Plant is ain't doing nothing.
Okay.
I agree with Christian on some points, but on some points where he says Golovkin's not great.
Golovkin's good, but he's not like this Hall of Fame.
You don't think Golovkin's a Hall of Fame?
No, I don't.
Well,
if he beats Andrade,
Canelo
and Charlo, yes, I'll put him up there. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
No, but Christian, he beat. You didn't think he beat Canelo in that first fight?
Yes, but Canelo's nothing. But Canelo is not impressive in my opinion.
But he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no, you can't question that, surely.
Well, name the legacy fight that puts him in the Hall of Fame.
Name
the elite guy that he beat in a legendary fight.
So okay. So you do not think that Canelo will be in the Hall of Fame?
Of course he will be because he's got media backing him. You know, he's got the establishment back.
But you don't think he's deserving of that?
Who is his Hagler? You know, Leonard had his legendary fight. He beat Hagler. Okay, Floyd beat Zab Judah when Zab was at a time considered one of the best and more gifted than Floyd.
Sugar Ray beat an old Hagler. A Hagler that was at the end of his career.
Yeah, but Christian, Golovkin's number one middleweight, and he had how many title defenses?
They had the legendary fight.
I think it was 13.
Where is Canelo?
Yeah, I mean,
someone who is
you don't think
athletic in his prime.
Christian, you don't think that the hype that there was around the Golovkin fight that's a legendary fight?
No, Golovkin was already old by then. He wasn't even in his prime.
So
maybe was Hagler.
You think the Andrade fight is going to be bigger than the Golovkin fight?
Yes, because of the skill set. It's because of the skill set. If Canelo can solve that skill set,
where's he from?
Andrade's undefeated. He hasn't been beaten in years.
Yeah, because he's got scrubs. That's why.
Taxi drivers.
Okay, and you also have to consider the fact that Canelo has intentionally been ducking him.
He fought big guys though, Canelo has. Better name than his resume.
I mean, right?
Guys,
can we
let Ahmed and Steven have a go? Let Ahmed and Steven have a go.
What happened?
So I just want to come to you, Ahmed, and you and Ahmed are quiet.
No, I'm just listening. I'm just listening in, and I'm just thinking about everything. And I think both sides have a great points that they make. Like Christian said, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, but outside of Golovkin, what is Canelo's legacy fight? But at the same time, how can you Christian? How can you say that Gennady isn't great? Gennady's a gangster, man. He's a killer, man. That dude.
Mm-hmm.
That dude, man. What do you think? What do you think Gennady would have done to Billy Joe?
Billy Joe at 160. Billy Joe that fought Lemieux. I think Billy Joe has a shot to beat him. If it's the Billy Joe using PEDs back in the day, because he was using PEDs, he got caught with it. If it's the one who fought Lemieux, I think Billy Joe has a shot against.
No, I'm talking about the one who fought Canelo.
Oh, that
he would have been brought up on charges. He would have been brought up on charges for murder.
No. He'll beat the Billy Joe that fought Canelo. Golovkin will beat that Billy Joe.
All these ice buckets.
Yeah. So Billy Joe, I'm saying Billy. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like you can't really say that Gennady isn't great.
Steven, who wins? Who wins, Andrade or Golovkin? Golovkin 3-4 years ago against Andrade.
I'm gonna have to go with Gennady, man. I'm sorry, Christian.
Okay, I gotta go with Andrade because skills pay the bills. A skillful fighter will always beat a banger, a one-dimensional banger.
Man,
He's not one-dimensional though.
Yes, he is. He comes forward. He can't fight off the back foot. He's got slow hand
He comes
speed.
forward with head
And his
movement.
chin is his defense.
I feel
You know
really
what
bad.
what they say? They say
I feel real,
attack
I
is
feel
the
real,
best. Go on, Steve.
But let me say something, man, about Gennady, man. I feel real bad about Gennady because Gennady had some tough breaks. He didn't get decisions that he should have got, and because of that, we don't look at Gennady like we should look at him. Gennady was a killer, man. He was that dude, man.
Imagine Steven if he got that decision against Canelo, how his legacy would look.
Is that
right? And look at what Canelo's gone on to achieve after that. Golovkin should have really had that win over him.
Yeah, he should have. But you know.
So what I mean is, how can we sit here and a guy that's gone toe to toe twice with Canelo, potentially beating him twice, right? Even though I thought Canelo won the second time, potentially beating him twice, right? Canelo is viewed by most people as the best fighter in the world right now, or one of the best in this era, right? Golovkin went toe to toe with that guy twice, potentially beating him twice, but I just like I said, a lot of Golovkin was avoided, man. He was avoided. I do blame Golovkin for not fighting Andre Ward, because I think he should have fought Andre Ward back in the day. He should have gone up and fought Andre Ward. Don't you agree, Christian?
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, but that's why.
But
that's why we don't say it's pound for pound, though. We're not saying it's pound for pound, though. Pound for pound is when you go up. We're not saying Gennady's pound for pound. We're saying at 160 he was the man, and Canelo beat him. You understand? And he potentially beat him the first time. So you can't say he's got no skills.
You know what? And then what Golovkin could have done is turn around, fight Andrade and Charlo, beat them, and then tell Canelo, let's fight. Imagine that.
No one wants to fight Golovkin. Who's calling Golovkin out?
So,
Imran, do you remember? No
Eric
one called
makes
him out.
Points. Guys, Ash, Eric makes a point. Christian, what's your opinion on Roberto Duran? He was one-dimensional as well. Is he not great?
Yeah, he was great, but he wasn't the best of his era.
Sorry?
He was great, but not the best of his era.
But the best of his era was like the guys of his era were like Sugar Ray and Hagler and Hearns. Like, you can't really judge, because really in this era he probably would have been the best. No, he wouldn't have.
Christian, what do you think of Chris Eubanks?
Who's better at lightweight than Duran? You think Teofimo would beat Duran, or Lomachenko would beat Duran?
At lightweight? Okay. At lightweight, that Teofimo Lopez, that would be an interesting fight.
Hands of Stone Age to call him.
Yeah, Duran would absolutely pummel.
But against someone like Haney, Duran would have a problem. Would have problems because he wouldn't be able to land.
What? You don't
land in 12 rounds.
Please, can we talk about something else, like Crawford Court or something?
Like that would be a mismatch, Christian. He's got no power.
That'll be a father and son beating.
And did Leonard have power when he fought Duran? No.
Leonard was a bigger man. He was a welterweight.
And Leonard's way better than Haney.
Duran was a lightweight. Come on.
And Leonard's got a lot of skills.
But Leonard was not a knockout puncher. He wasn't known for his power.
No, I get that, but Duran beat him as well, didn't he?
In the first fight, he beat him because Leonard didn't fight the right fight.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But the fact is, the point I'm trying to make is, like, Sugar Ray Leonard was bigger than Duran. He was a lot bigger than Duran. Duran was a lightweight. Leonard was a welterweight. And you're right, he didn't have power for welterweight. But Duran, even to go toe-to-toe with Leonard, right, that's a disadvantage for Duran because Duran's a smaller dude.
Yes,
right?
and Duran, but Duran beat Leonard in any event because Leonard fought in the pocket, mano a mano, foolishly.
Yep. So you think Haney would be able to outclass Roberto Duran? I just don't.
He'll outflick him, make him miss, box him.
What? Linares.
Yes.
And he got wobbled against Linares, didn't he? And Duran
because he made a mistake in that fight. He put his guard down, but you know what? He got through it. And he dominated that fight for the most part. I mean, part of boxing is getting hit and how you recover from the hit, how you come back from it.
So can I ask you a question then, Christian? Maidana wasn't as skilled as Mayweather, but Maidana in that first fight, what happened? Mayweather was in all sorts of trouble, weren't he?
But yeah, he was. But Mayweather pulled it out.
So, but what do you think? How did you have that fight? You had Mayweather winning?
I did have Floyd win. I did.
It
looked ugly, but he won.
But what I'm trying to say is that obviously Maidana, if you look at Maidana and Mayweather, skill-wise, there's no comparison. But Maidana made that fight very competitive, right?
He did. Because he put a lot of pressure on Mayweather.
Just because Haney has better skills than Duran, that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to keep him off or keep him away.
That's true. That's true. And part of that is knowing you got to be able to fight off the back foot. I mean, listen, Maidana pushed Floyd with a lot of pressure coming forward. The same way Liam Williams did the same thing to Andrade. But both Floyd and Andrade were able to pull it out because they're able to fight effectively off the back foot.
Makai?
So what was the thing? I was doing something.
So he said that Christian was going back to Andrade and Liam Williams. That Liam Williams was able to push. Sorry, what did you say again, Christian, about
he was
Liam
able
Williams?
to put a lot of pressure coming forward with a high punch output, even taking shots from Andrade, forcing Andrade to fight off the back foot. Andrade was able to adjust and do that. Boxing is about making adjustments. That's why a fighter who has a diverse skill set, in my opinion, is what I look at in determining who would win a fight. Because the more tools that you have, the better you can adjust on the fly. And Canelo, in my opinion, doesn't have that many tools, in my opinion, because of his slow feet. That's what limits him. And also, Canelo doesn't fight well off the back foot. And Golovkin showed that.
Still won though.
He won.
I mean, I don't really have a response, but I'm just going to say the same response as I've been saying like 100 times. I've basically just been having the same conversation like for 2 hours now. Like,
I don't think.
Is there anything else we can talk about?
Hey man, what do you reckon? Who's going to win? Crawford.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Porter, yeah.
Oh yes, Crawford Porter.
I was going to say that.
What a fight! I can't wait for this one.
September the 2nd. Guys, what do you make of that? Crawford and Porter.
I got Crawford.
Woohoo! Yeah, I got Crawford too. I'm assuming Crawford has got a dog in him to take like what Porter's going to bring. I'm assuming it, and I think he does. And obviously, Crawford, he's obviously got the skills to beat Porter. That's for sure. The athleticism and everything as well. Yeah, I'm picking Crawford, but I won't be shocked if Porter wins.
So Crawford. So coming now to Ash and Christian. What does Crawford have to do? Who does he need to fight? We need to see him fight Spence. Obviously, Pacquiao's lost now, so they need to stop chasing Pacquiao. Christian, before I go to Ash, what do you think Crawford needs to do now after beating? If he beats Porter, what would you like to see?
I would like to see Crawford fight Ennis.
Ooh. Don't you think it's a bit early for Ennis?
No, Ennis will take him right now. He'll beat him.
Do you think he'll beat Crawford?
Yes, he will.
Wow.
If you look at Fanon, he's a YouTuber. He did a phenomenal breakdown in their skill set, comparing both of them. And when you listen to the breakdown, you'll get why I'd pick Ennis.
Fair enough. I'm definitely gonna watch that. I'm definitely gonna go and have a watch that because
I'll send you the link. I'll message you the link so you can listen to what Fanon said.
Yeah. Ash, what do you want to see Crawford do? Do you think he beats Porter firstly?
I think he might win, but it's going to be like a split decision. Sean Porter, he's going to come guns blazing, and Crawford's a smaller guy than Errol Spence. And no one can say that Errol Spence ain't got that skills because he can do the same things that Crawford can do, but he couldn't do them because the Porter is such a beast. I can't pick in that fight. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of edging. You might be thinking I'm just going against the grain. I'm edging Sean Porter, maybe, you know, if he has a good night. The way he comes at you, I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. I think if he does win, it's to be a split decision, tight one. He's not going to look good doing it either.
Yeah, and what Paul's also said actually is that he thinks Crawford is going to be is going to be his hardest fight. So obviously he knows Crawford's like proper. So I can't wait for this fight. We're going to see how Crawford is going to adapt and everything. And I really like that they're doing the purse bids live. Like that's what boxing. That's what we should have.
Yeah.
Like that's
Great.
It's like we're trying to get a bit of good things in boxing at the moment. Obviously, with the Pacquiao Spence, that was a shame. But like, see, with the organizations, obviously the WBA, they're taking away their belts because they've got like, I don't know, like 30 of them. Obviously, the WBO, they're live streaming their purse bids. Like they should be doing this. It's good.
Listen, I have a question for you guys. That was years back when Ward and Froch and all these guys fought. They had a tournament at 168. How was that tournament? How was that tournament organized? Because I think that a way to fix boxing is to have all the divisions do tournaments, so we can stop all this ducking.
WBS.
All the fights that need to get made. So
WBS.
how was that organized?
Was it WBS? Yeah, WBS.
No, that wasn't WBS. That was a Super 6 tournament that they decided.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my
they
bad.
can't really do that in the Super 6 tournament. The guys that were fighting there didn't have the profile some of the big names have, like your welterweights and your heavyweights. You're right. I would love to see that, but I don't think it's possible because I think promoters and I think the money involved. I just don't think it's possible. Christian.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit like this. It's super lightweight. We had Taylor, Pro, Gray, Branchike. Yeah, most of them were the best in that division, but we didn't have Jose Ramirez in it because he's obviously with Top Rank. Who else? Like we didn't have Zepeda in.
Are they, Makai? Those aren't big names. When I mean big names.
Oh, you talk about like the middleweight division, the heavyweight division,
like, guys with big profiles and superstars and stuff like
never. That would never happen. Never happen, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's possible.
A shame though, but yeah.
I don't think it's possible. But the thing is, with that Super 6, it was good because we got a clear winner, Andre Ward, and he made a big name out of that. Let's be real.
Yeah, he did.
Out of that Super 6. By far as well. Let's be honest. By far the best.
All right, guys, I gotta go. It was a good talking to you. Let's do it again, okay?
Yeah,
good talking to you, Christian.
Okay, man.
Have a good one.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one.
See you later, mate.
Yeah, so he's right though about the Super 6. We need those tournaments, man. We need those tournaments, and we need to get those guys. We need to get guys fighting each other because they're not at the minute, you know. Diego 619 Cali Factor says Plant beats Canelo. I guarantee it. Styles make fights. Dago 619 Cali Factor has been saying that. To be honest, he's been saying that from the day dot. So fair play to him. He's given his prediction, and Plant's going to beat Canelo.
Cali Factor. He's in some boxing groups I'm in.
Oh, is it?
I recognize that name. Yeah, I think it's him. He talks a lot about that, saying like Plant's gonna whip Canelo and all that. Yeah, I think it's him. I don't really know. I recognize it.
Yeah. So let
everyone's in it. Everyone's in a whoop Canelo. That's what they all say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ash, you weren't liking it. You weren't liking it. You're saying that no, Canelo's the man right now.
Listen, man, the guy's saying 1 minute he's saying don't talk about resumes. He doesn't look at resumes, but he looks at skills. So 1 minute he's saying that Canelo hasn't fought anyone, and second hand he's saying he hasn't got skills. So how is he beating these guys? How is he there?
I like the way that he mentioned Callum Smith hasn't fought anyone outside the UK. But I thought resumes didn't mean anything. Like he dug himself a bit of a hole there, but but I can understand what he's talking. It's not nice to say that Canelo's like basic and he has no skills and all that. Like that's not the right thing to say.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a bit of basically. Because Canelo's not the slickest fighter in terms of his his movement, right? I think he thinks that, you know, Canelo, but there's more to it than that,
Yeah.
isn't there?
Yeah.
Guys?
Oh, yeah. A lot more to look to it than like just being on feet. A lot more.
You know, so I just don't think you can look at somebody and say, well, oh, yeah, well, he's Canelo's a great fighter. There's a reason why he's so successful, you know. Otherwise, everyone would be beating him, right, Ash?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I said, because he's beat so many guys, and he knows he's got the experience. But this guy, Christian, was saying that he doesn't look at resume, so he doesn't care about that. He just looks at skills. And then, if not, you tell me, man, who's got more better skills than this guy can? Name me a guy that's got all time better skills.
Then who? I don't think there is anybody. To be honest, the only one that you could possibly say is Terence Crawford. That's it. With the fact that he can go southpaw, but Terence Crawford hasn't really been fighting the top tier guys, has he?
Well, we're going to see it. His next fight with Porter. I mean, I've got an interesting question here as well. Who do you think is going to win the purse bids?
I don't know. You know, I think I'm going Triller.
Triller. I reckon Triller might get involved, but I mean,
but Triller put a bid in for the TFEMA fight. We still haven't seen that.
Yeah,
that fight fell through though, didn't it?
That's weird. And they're fighting. They're still fighting. It's just like it's been rescheduled like 4 times. Like it's so weird, mate. It's bad for Tio as well. Tio's
he's coming. What's the word? No one wants to know about him now anymore. He should have kept that high. Just beat Lomachenko and ran him for another fight. But now he's forgotten about it.
Yeah,
Anumi is asking Imran, what do you think of Gilberto Ramirez v Canelo? Makai.
I don't really rate that Gilberto Ramirez, to be honest. I mean, he's fighting Bivol. I think Bivol's going to outbox him. I really don't think that Gilberto Ramirez is that good. I mean, but we haven't really seen him. I mean, we've seen him fight ranked guys, but not the best of the best.
What do you think, Ash?
I agree with Makai. You know, I don't rate him either.
Yeah.
I think Bivol will beat him.
Yeah, you think Gilberto Ramirez? You don't think he beats? You don't think he can beat some of the top guys at light heavyweight?
Nope, I don't. Bivol, he's proper. So Beterbiev, Bivol's really good. Very underrated, I think, as well. Obviously, Beterbiev, he's rated fine.
You gotta see him lift his levels up, innit? And then see where he's at. If you can't, I was gonna say to him, he's talking about skills. A guy can have skills and be in with Jojo Dan and show every skill he's got. But when you're in with top level fighters, you don't get to show your skills. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he's talking about Caleb Plant, and he's gonna run out buck rings around Canelo. But when he's in there, he's gonna find out he won't be able to do that because the Canelo's gonna close him down. It's like sparring and being in the ring are 2 different things. You can be in sparring and do all the things you like to do and do all that, but when you get in there, it's totally different.
Yeah.
And he is the first guy to knock out Sullivan Barrera. So Gilberto Ramirez.
He's got power, but I mean,
Sullivan
he may have power, but he
Barrera
still might not be that good. Yeah.
How many times did Sullivan Barrera lose though before that?
Yeah.
Isn't that the Sullivan Barrera that Andre Ward came up and beat?
Yeah.
He gave Andre Ward a little run for his money, but Andre Ward beat him years ago. So.
And I believe Bivol stop Barrera. Did he stop him? He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he stopped Barrera in the 12th round.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, a few years after or something, a year after or something.
So, are we all going Crawford to beat Porter?
Yes, but I won't be shocked if Porter wins. I mean, just Porter's a gangster, man. He's the guy's fought everyone. I mean, this is good though. We're finally going to see how good Crawford is, and I hope. Well, I kind of want Porter to win because I just don't really like Crawford as a person. But you know, I respect his skills and all that.
I think you have to show something more than he's done before to beat Sean Porter.
Yes.
Because Sean Porter obviously is one of a kind in that division, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Sean Porter. And he can take a punch. And he can take a punch. And I'm sure we'll agree that Errol Spence is harder than Crawford.
Yeah.
It's interesting. This is why I say it's an interesting one, because if Sean Porter, imposes himself on him and kind of, because Sean Porter's got some skill. He's not just a bull in the, in the China shop. You know what I mean? He's got some skill. He's not just gonna run at him. But obviously, we know Crawford's got a lot of skill, so he can do a lot. So he's got to be careful. But I think it's an interesting fight.
Yeah, I feel after Porter lost to he really changed himself. Like he tried to work on other things. Like, I mean, I saw him turn Spence. Like he does show good stuff. He's not just a guy who walks forward and gets hit a lot. Like he's not just a walking punching bag. Like Crawford, Porter, yeah, he's gonna give Crawford a run for his money. Like Crawford's gonna have to work, and I'm assuming Crawford's got the dog in him. Oh, that's what I'm assuming. I don't actually know.
The question is, can Crawford hurt Porter? Because Porter's not going to stop coming, is he?
Yeah, I mean,
because we know that he's not going to go in there and box Crawford, is he? He knows that himself. So he's coming in there and he's going to come to rough him up and, get his head in there and rough him up from inside.
Yeah.
And can he deal with that? That's the question.
Yeah.
So this is why I give Sean Porter a bit more chance than a puncher's chance, if you know what I mean, in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Crawford's a smaller guy as well.
I mean, I think Crawford's bigger than Porter.
Porter's always been draining himself kind of to be at this weight. Don't you agree, man? I'm sure he fought like a higher weight, 160 something in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, but because I've seen a lot of people here saying like they've seen Crawford in person after he's not when he's not fight camp, and they say like Crawford is actually like a really big guy. He's actually quite big, but I mean, yeah, Porter is probably bigger than him. Yeah, 168. He fought Usyk in the amateurs.
I think it's Usyk and Benavidez, maybe, or Usyk, one of them. Yeah, I think it's Usyk, you're right, but he fought at a very high weight.
Yeah, so, it's fair enough, and fair enough.
What do you think, Ahmed?
Well, what's the question again?
Crawford and Porter.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good fight. I just think, Crawford's versatility, being able to switch you up, his elusiveness, I think would start to frustrate Sean Porter as the fight goes on. And I see him either getting shut out or maybe stopped late.
What you think? You think Ash seems to think that Porter might take the fight.
No, I doubt it. He's got nothing to his game apart from coming forward and punching and that. You can't beat someone like Crawford, Lara, can you? Crawford's got layers to his game, and he can switch you up any time. If things are going a bit wrong for him. If Porter style's causing him trouble early on, he'll change, he'll make them adjustments, like Floyd used to do.
When do you think the fight's when do we think the fight's gonna happen? Like obviously the purse bids, but when's like the date? Do you reckon? Like what is it? Is it like November or something?
It should be end of November or early December, innit?
Oh, that's alright then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, November. Yeah.
Sean Porter, I don't think he's got enough power to hurt Sean Porter.
You hear what Carl Froch said, guys? I've got to butt in. Sorry about this. Carl Froch said, I haven't had the recognition I deserve. You can go back to anybody's career. Ricky Hatton, Joe Calzaghe, David Hay, Amir Khan, Chris Eubank, Nigel Benn, Steve Collins, Nazim Hamed. My record is better than all of theirs.
It's not better than all of them.
I mean, Froch has a great resume, but Khan has a great resume, man. I mean, yeah, he may not be in them all, but He's been very good fighters as well. Who Prince has seen. You know, like
how can he say he's had a bad career? How can he say he's had a bad career than Lennox Lewis or Calzaghe?
yeah.
Did he say that?
Wait, you said Lennox Lewis?
No, he basically said. So what's he said? He said.
Did he mention Lennox Lewis?
Anybody's career, go back. Anybody's career. Ricky Hatton, Joe Calzaghe, David Hay, Amir Khan, Steve Collins, Azim Ahmed. My record is better than theirs.
Oh, okay, so we didn't mention Lewis at least because that would be silly if he did.
Even to say that his I don't know what he means by that because he got schooled by Andre Ward.
Yeah, he did. He got schooled badly, man.
And Joe Calzaghe was undefeated.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, you look at the guys who Froch beat, but you know, Calzaghe beat great fighters as well. I mean, Froch he gets the good respect as he should be. I mean, he's not like he's underrated or anything. He gets the respect he deserves.
To be honest, Froch was a good fighter, though. I give Froch.
Yeah, Froch was tough. He just wasn't, you know, fundamentally sound or anything. He wasn't like he couldn't really box, could he? He was just a strong guy who could take a punch.
Yeah,
I think
Froch has always been a little bit bitter. You know, he's always been like he feels like he doesn't get the pro. I think he's always been one of them.
Yeah.
He's always been bitter against Amir Khan, hasn't he?
Hey?
He's always been bitter towards Amir Khan for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. He's always had some kind of issue. He always had some kind of issue with Khan, definitely. I don't know what his issue was, but he definitely didn't like him. You know, he was quite close with David Hay, to be fair. David Hay and who's the other guy he was close with? With a few guys, but he did have issues with George Groves, Khan. He had issues with Calzaghe. You know, but you know,
I mean, I agree. Yeah,
I don't think. Jake Paul says he would do better than Billy Joe Saunders against Canelo. Stop it.
God, Jake Paul is such a right. I mean, right. Jake Paul is an absolute clown. He needs to fight a boxer first. He can't even be an amateur boxer. He needs to fight people his weight as well. Like, yeah, that guy's a clown. I don't even want to talk about him. And anyway, I gotta get going, guys. So cheers for having me on, Imran. Yeah, it was good talk. We had good debate.
I'm gonna kick off. Ash,
see you guys in a bit.
Ahmed, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate guys coming on. Everyone in the chat, I appreciate it. Guys, Ahmed and Thing, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, safe.
Safe, man. Take care.
Take care. Bye.